there. So open the mics, about to kick off. Remember, if you get anything to say about today's game's reaction to decision, a great win, whatever it is, send us a voice note on WhatsApp 08085 92 95 00. Your name, your team, your point. We'll read them out later on the programme. A reminder, we're on the TV today, BBC One Scotland, from 4:30 until 5:25. And of course, the conversation continues on Radio Scotland right through until 7 o'clock.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
Go! Go! From BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Another busy day ahead in Scottish football. Just 2 games kicking off in the top flight at 3 o'clock. 4 games for you tomorrow on the programme. Some really good looking ties, you'd have to say, in the Championship this afternoon. I'll bring you the goal news from right across the country. We're on the telly today, BBC One Scotland, 4:30. And we'll get fan reaction, manager reaction and pundit reaction between 5:30 and 7 o'clock. This evening. So let's get another trip around the grounds. We've had the team news, we've heard from the managers. Let's get to that game. Livingston against Hearts. Alan Preston is there for us. What are you expecting this afternoon, Al?
I'm hoping for a really good game, Kenny, but just to say that we started off with a minute's silence for Dougie Emery's daughter, who sadly passed away, impeccably observed by both sets of fans. We're just about to get underway here. The rain is coming down, which will actually help the pitch, Kenny. Looking forward to it. We're just about to kick off.
Yeah, we've got the pictures coming into the studio here in the Sports Sound studio in Glasgow, PQ. Let's get to the other top flight game this afternoon. Motherwell at home to Kilmarnock. Tony, so much praise for Jens Bertolaska, the way his side have approached games. It's going to be really interesting to see how they do at home this afternoon.
Yeah, and they started the game in that fashion. Very expansive, playing out from the goalkeeper, real rotations in the middle of the pitch. And yeah, they look as if they're going to carry on from where they've left off. Kilmarnock playing very much a game that trying to high press, but the way the game started off here, I think there's going to be a lot of ball possession in terms of Motherwell, and it'll be probably counter-attack play Kilmarnock. But opening stages really impressive. Ball retention by Motherwell, I've got to say.
Let's get to the game at East End Park. Chick Young is there for us. Dunfermline at home to Ross County. That technically there could be a noisy old place this afternoon, Chick.
Absolutely. Neil Lennon and John Robertson, of course, in the dugouts. And Jim Leishman has just taken a bow. He's appointed chairman of the club this week. He's a bit of a legend, but not just a bit of a legend. He is a legend here in Dunfermline. He's just taking a bow to a big support inside the ground. Ross County have the better of it in the opening couple of minutes here. Kenny getting forward. Declan Gallagher with a long throw attempted, and there's a ball right through the middle that's going to be dealt with by the goalkeeper. Yeah, could be an interesting game, good conditions. As the boys were saying, the surface is greasy, ball will zip along, still 0-0.
Right, let's get to the game at Firhill Park at Thistle at home to Wraith Rovers. Are you predicting goals this afternoon, Ian McCall?
Well, yeah, both teams are in really good form, both attacking teams. I'm looking forward to seeing wee Dylan Easton play, and you've got Fitzpatrick and Chalmers, who's on the ball right now, playing wide for Thistle, and they really do hold their width here at Firhill. So, yeah, I'm expecting a really good game. That nice bit of rainfall, so the pitch is nice and slick.
It's been a tricky start to the season, Rory, for Ayr United. They'll fancy their chances this afternoon at home to Queen's Park.
Yeah, you would imagine so. The game's only just kicked off. We had a minute's applause for Ricky Fleming, who sadly passed away this week, former United player, and was here for over a decade, nearly 300 league appearances for Ayr United. But in terms of on the pitch, I think they will fancy themselves today. They want to get off and running with a win. They would expect it to have been competitive. When you look at their squad, they should be competitive, Kenny, so we'll wait and see how this one plays out. Yeah,
looking forward to all the games this afternoon. I'll bring you the goal news from right across the country on Open All Mics. We'll get the 2 games on in here in the studio this afternoon, hoping for plenty of goals to bring you. Tom English, you were discussing earlier on about Hearts. It's very exciting, I think, for all of us this season to see what they can do, and just as displayed with the guys talking there, we heard from the manager his thoughts on the new signing. There is serious investment there.
Yeah, there is. They've got all the infrastructure I think that they need. They've got Bloom's investment. They've got James Anderson there. They've got a good manager. They've got a good squad, which they have the financial muscle to add to. Massive support. It's all positive. So you expect to do big things from Hearts this season.
Good manager.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good manager, yeah.
That was a strange.
Why
That was I have to tell. That was a strange look
very
you gave
strange.
Tom English when he said good manager.
Well, I mean, Tom's never. He's never been Derek's biggest supporter, I would say.
But that's what Derek says to me whenever I speak to him. What I've given. See, football managers, a lot of the time they don't hear the praise, but they do hear the criticism.
That's a good point.
Maybe Derek is one of those.
Oh, right, okay. No, I would have suggested that when you said he was a good manager, I wouldn't have put that down as your view.
Well, I think he's worked. Although he could have won a few more trophies in Aberdeen, but his Aberdeen years were very good builds.
So you think it's a good appointment for Hearts?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's not what you were saying when Neil Critchley got the job.
What, that Derek McInnes was not a good...
Wouldn't work at Hearts. That's what you were saying.
Well, I think Derek has probably changed a bit in terms of to adapt to the system and the way things are with Jamestown Analytics. He's had to adapt.
He's come in at a great time as well, hasn't he?
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
What do you think they still need, Michael, in terms of recruitment?
A right back.
Still a right back.
Yep. Definitely. Desperately need a right back to give them the opportunity to play with the back four, and they need to. We still need to see how the wide guys are going to perform, because ultimately they're not really in the team at the moment because of the system that is being deployed.
I think on Derek, Mikey, he is quite touchy about criticism of his teams.
Really good chance there for Motherwell.
Yeah, just talk us through it, Tony.
Yeah, fantastic play. And the game really, after 5 minutes, it's developing into a really possession-based game, and they worked a fantastic wee passage of play through the middle. Masonisi gets in and goal, and he's only 12 yards from goal across the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper makes a good save, but really at the moment it's Motherwell controlling possession and working into good areas of the pitch, and that's the first opportunity we've had. It's through good play. Kilmarnock very much sitting off the game, or two strikers sitting off it and just trying to stop
Hearts in Scotland have got a problem here. Xander Clark is down, just sat down after kicking the ball out. They've only got young Liam McFarlane on the bench, so the goalkeeper that should be coming in next week will be much needed.
I mean, he's not been in good form, Alan, as Michael was saying there, but right now, would you think he'd be Scotland's number one?
I think Steve Clark's a toss of a coin, really. Gunn's not getting a game, Kelly's not getting a game.
Goal for Hull!
Yes, see McCall.
Yeah, it was great play down the Thistle's left-hand side. It's for Partick Thistle, obviously. Aidan Fitzpatrick gets onto the ball, a little cut back in behind, and he cuts it back. Tony Watt has just slid in at the back post and knocked in. Partick Thistle 1, Wraith Rovers 0.
Ian predicted goals there, and we've got our first one after just 6 or 7 minutes there at Firhill down in England today. Some goals going in down there. Chelsea in the lunchtime kickoff beat Fulham by 2-0. We have a goal. Everton 1-0 up away at Wolverhampton. Beto on 7 minutes. I did see one other goal just flash through. Bournemouth 1-0 up away at Tottenham Hotspur. Right, let's get the thoughts of Tony Docherty on this. Tony, Tom English saying that managers just hear the bad things that are said about them and pick them out. He's right, isn't he?
Totally disagree with that. Agree with everything Michael Stewart has said there. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Tom.
Would you say, Tony, that Derek is a bit sensitive to criticism?
Not in the slightest. No, he's a very good manager.
You're such a liar.
He's a very good manager in my book, and I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job at Hearts.
That's not what I asked you to.
Nicely avoided. It's not Russell Martin yesterday, actually. Right, let's get to, I'm not sure we've got Willie, and we'll get technical issues at McDermott Park. Willie, I think you're on the phone, are you?
I'm on the phone.
That's an Aberdonian. Who'll be reversing the charges?
President, wrap it up, President. Yes. Can you hear me okay, Kenny?
Not great shout.
I'm coming from the moon. I'm trying my best, Kenny. I really am. Listen, it's been a decent game of football here. Predominantly with St Johnstone. St Johnstone, well on top, dominating possession, not created any chances yet. 0-0, unfortunately, but the home side, as they started the season, 100% record. Looking good for another 3 points this afternoon.
Yeah, fantastic. We've got someone up there to try and engineer on his route there, Alan, to try and get that line sorted. I mean, Willie's become a bit of a St Johnstone expert, been there a fair old bit in recent weeks.
He is, yeah, and just saying a good move for Hearts. Offside flag goes up, Devlin's offside, but yeah, they've been in great form, great start to the league campaign for them. Ross County, I thought, would have been their nearest rivals, in a bit of disarray with Robbo taking over there as caretaker manager just now. So chance for St Johnstone to maintain that lead and maybe even make it even bigger today, hopefully.
Yeah, St Johnstone fan joined us in the programme last week, raving season ticket sales up from last season, loving the style of play and what a start they have had to this season. I know Willie's been very impressed with their style of play so far this campaign. So they are at home this afternoon to Morton. Will will bring us all the news on that. We're trying to get that line repaired, but until then we'll have them on the phone for any goal flashes up there. So let's just continue to bounce around the grounds. Let's get to Chick at East End Park. Anything happening in the early stages, Chick?
It's some good football, and as the boys Ian was saying, I think as well, the zip and the surface really helps it. The ball's getting passed well. East End Park surface is in great condition in any case. So Dunfermline are taking full advantage of that. Zach Rudden's been in about a couple of things inside the box, trying to get his debut goal for the Pars. Ross County just trying to settle down a little bit. The ball's getting moved. There's some good football from both teams actually. Ball's on the surface, getting moved about and looking comfortable with the ball as well. So I'm hopeful we'll get goals here as well. And I would probably say that in these early stages, it was a clattering challenge. It was a belter of a challenge from Charlie Gilmer early on. I kind of shut my eyes in the wake of that. But and then he broke with the ball, and he didn't know what to do with it after he'd won the ball, and they were forward, and it was player spare. That was thrown away. He's on the ball now, but I would see the Dunfermline the better of this, Kenny, in the opening few minutes.
Kenny, can I just say, just on Zach Rudden, I can't think of many players that have moved permanently to different clubs twice within the same window. You ever done that, Alan? You ever moved somebody twice in the same window?
It's actually frowned upon by FIFA. It's called a bridge transfer. You're not allowed to transfer between one club and another unless it's special circumstances within 16 weeks. So they've clearly looked at it and thought, yeah, it's fine.
Zach got I count nine Scottish clubs. That must be some kind of record. I remember as a boy way back in the 70s, played for Millwall, I think, and among others, Frank Large's name was 17 clubs.
There's a chance for Hearts. Braga! Montgomery just gets back. So 1-2 on the right hand side. Braga's trying to get across Montgomery. He's got a little hold of him, nothing in it really, and Braga just scuffs his shot wide. The first real chance of the afternoon.
You like Braga, Michael?
Yeah, he's got something. He's low, he's full of energy, and he obviously had a massive impact last week when he came on against Motherwell. And alongside Shankland at the top end of the park, he certainly complements Lawrence Shanton as well because he's full of energy. So yeah, he's certainly somebody you look upon as being a positive to the Hearts side so far.
East Kilbride 1-4 Cameron Elliott on 30 minutes. Ian McCall, Zach Rudden looks a bit of a character to me. What's he like to manage?
Yeah, he's a great boy. We had one or two little things that Biscuits, I've got to say, was a very caring agent, unlike a lot of the agents out there. But he did really well for me. He was playing up front with Brian Graham, and he did well. We won a title, and goal for Hull!
Yes,
it's Aidan Fitzpatrick again. With the finish, he's got it in the wide left area. He's beat his man. A wee bit of trickery, a bit of pace. Fired it in it. I think Josh Lane maybe should have done better, but he's fired it in. I mean, the Thistle wingers, Chalmers and Fitzpatrick, are ripping Wraith Rovers apart. It's 2-0. Zach Rudden, good boy, good player.
Fantastic start for Partick Thistle there. Someone want to come in? Yes?
Zach Rudden's one I had as well. Zach Rudden played for me my first year when we managed to finish top six, and a front two with Bakayoko. He done great for me, and Biscuit was a great agent for him, very considerate of what he needed. Just as I'm watching here, there's a chance there with Polworth, just Kilmarnock slightly coming into the game here. The shot from distance nearly scored, but going back to Zach, great boy, really good in the dressing room, and again I would echo that. Biscuits was great with him, and a good conversation with him about the type of player I was bringing into the dressing room, and it wasn't just a good foil for Bakayoko. He was a good lad about the place, but yeah, he certainly moved on quite a lot.
Yeah, decent player. He's had a great career, you'd have to say. Montrose won, Peterhead 0, Aidan Quinn with that opening goal after 13 minutes. In terms of your game there, Tony, just settled down at the moment?
Yeah, there was real domination, as I say, with Motherwell. But really, not really chances for them. They'd one chance, it was offside Masonisi. But, Kilmarnock sitting in, but when they get that opportunity break, they did get an opportunity there, and Polworth from 25 yards hits a strike, and probably the best effort of the game. So 15 minutes in, there's real domination of the ball by Motherwell, but they could be 1-0 down.
Right, let's get to Rory. He is at Somerset Park for us. Ayr United against Queen's Park. What's happening there, Rory?
Yeah, Ayr complete control really in the early stages. It was Kyle Ure had a shot which was blocked, which looked like it was goal bound. After 5 minutes, the ball went out to Liam Dick on the other side. He crossed it back in, and Main had a header at the back post, which was held by goalkeeper Ferry. And that's been about it. Ayr in control. Queen's Park defending.
Chance again for Kilmarnock.
Yes.
They're growing into this game. A brilliant crossfield pass from Liam Polworth. Cross by Dom Thompson into the box, and it's Daniels that just headers over. But you know, the game's, it's evident, it's now Kilmarnock coming into the game that little bit, because they've managed to get a wee couple of passes of play stopped. Motherwell playing the way they are, and certainly in the balance now in this game.
Yeah, let's see. I think it's interesting. We've got a Kilmarnock fan joining us later in the programme, Tom. So I'm just interested to hear, because there wasn't a huge amount of support, you have to say, when Stuart Kettle was appointed. They've had a steady start to the campaign. It's going to be interesting to see what they make of him in the early weeks.
Yeah, and like, you know, patience runs out fairly quickly in this league, but I think he's had a good start. I think he's a good manager, Stuart Kettlewell. You know, I think he maybe, you know, over elaborates sometimes in his interviews. I think he's got into a little bit of trouble on that score a couple of times. But I think you're right. It wasn't. I don't think it was a wholly popular appointment. But if he gets the job done, it doesn't matter. I think he's doing a pretty good job so far, isn't he?
Well, absolutely, I think so. Doing well in the League Cup. They've got that quarter-final at home to St Mirren on the Friday night. Yeah, lots to look forward to. We'll hear from Stuart pre-match. He said, look, he wasn't too bothered with what reception you get there today. I don't think we've seen anything over the top. Tam Cowan and off the ball thought there might be some banners from the crowd. I've certainly not seen anything so far. No goals in that game. Rory, here's one for you, because the Motherwell fans have been saying this is the best football that they've ever seen, they can ever remember. So, in your playing days, Rory, was there one particular manager, one particular spell where you felt this is really good to play and this must be fantastic for the fans to watch?
In terms of managers and principles and styles of play, when I was at St Mirren in the second spell under Jack Ross, we just had a team that clicked with Lewis Morgan, Stevie Mallon, myself up front, and you know, a couple of other young good players who, you know, we got a bit of momentum in that 6 months. We were stranded at the bottom of the table, and we just burst into life with a total transformation and overhaul of the squad at that time. And I think at that time the St Mirren fans, you know, appreciated what we did. They went on to get promoted the following season, and they've went from strength to strength ever since. And it was kind of built on that initial 6 months under Jack Ross, which turned the fortunes of the club, which could have very easily been in League One.
Alan, as a Hearts fan, which manager has produced the best football that you've seen?
At Hearts or what I've been under?
Let's go for Hearts. That you've seen as a Hearts fan.
George Burley.
Yeah.
Magnificent. You just never know what they could have achieved if Romanoff hadn't been in charge. They were excellent there. Just as I said, Livingston have forced the first corner of the match. No, nothing comes of it. They'll not go out for another corner. But no, George Burley for me was excellent, really good.
I tell you, we spoke about, you know, what's poor and what's not about the Scottish League. What's indisputable, I think, is the support of some of these clubs, particularly the away support. Brian McLaughlin saying there on our live page, 6,500 Hearts fans.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Could be worse, Tom. You could be a Man United fan. You're talking about clubs in disarray. What about their manager? Their manager sitting in the dugout when the penalties are going on.
Oh, no, yeah, shocking.
Well, actually,
that's different. That's different.
I was going to say, it'd be interesting if they just come up on my screen. They've got a penalty at home to Burnley.
Goal for Kilmarnock.
Right, take it away, Tony.
Yeah, they've grew into the game, as I say. The Motherwell were dominating possession, but they've got a foothold in the game. They're great passes of play, worked down in at the right-hand side of the area, and I think the cross is put over by Bruce Anderson, and it's turned in at the back post by Daniels, and they really did expose a weakness in the Motherwell defence there. But you know, the game started very much Motherwell. Kilmarnock played their way in, and I think deservedly now at this stage have went 1-0 up.
Really nice movement there, Tony. I mean, they've carved them open, haven't they?
Absolutely, and you've seen even the dummy from the player running forward in the middle of the box to allow it to go to Daniels, and really well worked goal, and they've now got they've had that. You know, I think Liam Polworth's been quite instrumental in the middle of the park, just calming things down, making a few passes, and you know, with Motherwell being so expansive, that's the risk that you take. You know, you see the gaps that were left there in the middle of their defence. They get down the side of Longelo and McGinn there. It's played across, and it's a brilliant goal from Kilmarnock's point of view, but really quite vulnerable defensively, Motherwell, I've got to say, for all the dominance of their possession.
Yeah, we've just seen the replay, as Tom says. It's a great move there. Tony, just confirm this for me, because it drives me nuts. I just saw a quick glimpse. Again, speaking of away supports, a very healthy Kilmarnock support there. Are they all up in the top tier again?
Oh. Yes, they're all at the top, just as you came to the Masmanisi. Almost, he should score, I think. There's a ball crossed over from O'Donnell, and he's 10 yards to go. He should score, puts it by the post. Yeah, they're up in that top tier.
Drives me nuts, that. I mean, we're seeing pictures coming in. It doesn't look great. Is it steward? I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It's not good as an aesthetic. But listen, I've got to say, in terms of punters away from home, I was with the Aberdeen team during the week there, and they deserve special mention.
They're brilliant.
The amount of supporters and what they invest to get there, you know, and make the effort for their team, it was absolutely outstanding. And I really felt sorry for Aberdeen the other night because of I've been through a refereeing decision, because you see the amount the club invest, you know, not just financially, you know, in terms of resource, human resource, and what the fans put in, as you mentioned there, and to be undone for such a ridiculous decision, I really felt ashamed for them.
A nice wee bit for the fans to get a bit back with Hibs as well, with the Gordon family putting in that money at the fan zone for them. I know a few of my pals were there said it was brilliant.
Great.
Absolutely.
This is the thing. I mean, you know,
Kenny and Tom
I'm in awe of the travel, the numbers that they travel in, you know. That is.
Did you see the pictures, some of the videos that the Hibs fans took from that away the other night?
Yeah.
When the goal went in. Absolutely sensational
brilliant.
stuff. Yeah, loved it. Great away support.
You know, I've got to say about the Aberdeen, the penalty that was given against them, you know, a crucial time in the game as well. We were watching that coming in, but I genuinely, because we were commentating the radio for the Hibs game, I didn't hear Tony and Liam's commentary. It was Richard who eventually it's basically told us it was given for handball. I didn't have a clue what it was given for.
Didn't he see him at the time? We just thought it was a challenge.
Yeah,
the player went down.
I was the same.
And the game, the interesting thing was the game carried on. You know, and you thought that moment had passed, but then they pulled it back again.
It was 6 minutes, wasn't it, or something?
It was an absolute disgrace. It is a disgrace.
The game had moved on, and it was even all the Romanian press round about us were all saying there's no
penalty for Hill for Wraith Rovers.
All right, chance for him to get back in. Ian McCall didn't look at the right decision.
Oh, is it a penalty or is he booked for diving? No. Well, it is a penalty. Paul McMullen drove forward, played a great 1-2 with Dylan Easton. I must admit, it looked a penalty from here. I think it was Big Ashworth quick slid in and he just got a nick on him at McMullen and he just took him out. So penalty kick at Hill for Wraith Rovers.
Right, Ian, just shout out because Willie Miller got a goal at McDermott Park.
And it's doesn't
sound like Willie.
Willie in the shower.
Well, Willie, we'll need to come back to it. I can tell you Eamon Brophy has given Morton the lead there on 22 minutes. Apologies. We've had quite a lot of technical issues this season. Last week was a lot better. We've got a problem there with Willie's line, but we've got an engineer on the way there, so hopefully, apologies, particularly actually Green and Morton fans. You missed a big goal there, St Johnstone there.
Are they laying a new cable on their way up there?
Oh, this is right. Goal elsewhere.
Dylan Easton, penalty kick. He stuck it in. Goalie's left. It's now Partick Thistle 2, Wraith Rovers 1.
Right, sounds like a brilliant game there. And Ian McCall spot on his prediction of goals. What we've got 23 minutes played. We've got 3 on the clock so far. There's some other goals, guys. Just confirmation. St Johnstone 0, Morton 1, Eamon Brophy on 22 minutes. Queen of the South 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Curtis Guthrie on 21. Wolves equalised at home to Everton. That's 1 apiece, and that's you right up to date with all the goal news. So we'll try and see get Willie's line of
This must be goal. Dunfermline have scored. It's a corner on the right hand side. Wisden, couple of chances. The ball knocked over the line. 2 or 3 players in that, Kenny, inside the 6-yard box. Dunfermline have scored. I'll confirm the score in a minute. It's Cooper's corner. Great header the first time, and it's knocked over the line. And Dunfermline 1, Ross County 0.
Yeah, really interesting to see what happens with that managerial position at Ross County. Got a County fan joining us later in the programme. Does he feel it was the correct decision? Let John Cowie go. Is John Robertson the answer? Yes.
Yeah, it's Chillicola Mullen that scored. Jeremiah Chillicola Mullen with the header. It came in a little bit head tennis in the box, and eventually just got it in at the goalkeeper's right hand post. 1-0 the Pabs.
Montrose 2, Peterhead 0, Blair Lions in 23 minutes. Tom English, I've got a name I'm going to put to our county fan later in the programme who you might fancy as their next manager.
Is he on the show?
Is he on the show?
May be, guys. Yeah, he may
You beat
just
me to
be.
it, Biscuits. You beat me to it.
Michael.
Oh, we would love that. Can you imagine the post-match interviews?
Pray for another attack.
I say Derek McGuinness is touchy.
He'd refused to speak to us.
Yeah, look, one day we hope that happens. So, yeah, Dunfermline 1, Ross County 0. I gave you Montrose 2, Peterhead 0, Blair Lions on 23 minutes. What's happening in your game, Alan?
Nothing much. It's all bitty free kicks. Halkett's been yellow carded. Yengi's just had a yellow card there as well. There's not great quality just now. Just that brag effort across the goal. That's been really about it. A couple of corners from either side. Nothing's come of it at all. So still 0-0 here at Livingston.
Yeah, a bit of a disappointment.
This is a good watch. This Motherwell game's a good watch. Motherwell coming back into the game. The first 2 corners now. Unfortunately, last one they went in, they almost scored. But a really good game here. Good tempo about things, and 2 teams that are going at it.
Tony, tell me how you'd set up. There were an awful lot of praise, Motherwell, and rightly so. That was an amazing game that Alan was at last week. But when you're coming up against that as an opposition manager, how do you counter that? How do you shape up?
I think it's important that you make sure that you're secure behind the ball, but always knowing that if you win it, it's a quick counter attack, because the Motherwell, the formation that they're playing, that they're bringing players into pockets, they're advancing fullbacks. When you win that possession, so you need to be really, really organised collectively. But when you win that possession, as was illustrated with a goal, there's real opportunities to break on them. I'm even looking at a corner kick now that Motherwell have got 1v1 at the back when they're attacking. So, as good they are attacking, they do leave themselves vulnerable defence, and just as I've said, this is up to a 1-on-1 from the corner, 1-on-1 for Kilmarnock now, and they've got a counter attack, and they've now got 3 over, 3 against 2, and it comes to nothing. But to answer that, I think if you're organised behind the ball, you're always going to get an opportunity against a team that are opened up.
Hibs women failed in their Champions League qualification attempt. They're now trying to get into the competition below that. They're 1-0 away at Apollo Limassol women. Kathleen McGovern with that goal on 22 minutes. So good news for them. They were ahead the other night, but they lost at the end of the evening. So let's continue to get some thoughts on around the grounds. Rory Loy, anything at all from Ayr United in this game?
George Oakley just had a snapshot from the edge of the box, which Callum Ferry turned out the post. Other than that, Queen's Park have got a foothold in the game now. They're looking to counter-attack, there's no doubt about that. They haven't really created any chances themselves. Ayr haven't been as bright as they were in the opening 10 minutes, so that leads to the score being 0-0 and not a lot of goalmouth action, Kenny.
No, it doesn't sound a great one, you'd have to say. Let's just get around the ground. So we've heard from Chip with a goal there. Willie will not go back to Willie, we'll try and get that line sorted. Alan's given us an update.
Goal!
There you go.
Livingston scored 1-0. Cutting in, I think it's Lewis Smith on the right-hand side. Cuts inside. Is the goalie slow at his near post?
Very.
Wow. Honestly, I think Hearts have lost four goals. I would say the keeper's at fault for 4, maybe off his 6 or 7 they've conceded this season.
Who's he skipped away from there though, Alan, up the left?
I think it's Milne, slips away.
Really poor.
Great finish from him, but again, you've got to look at the keeper. It's up the far end for me, but I thought it was the goalie. He was very slow getting down again, his left-hand side.
And the thing is, Michael, that uncertainty when the keeper has made so many errors this campaign, it's tough, isn't it?
Massively. I'm just looking at it again. He gets past Harry Milne very easily. He's driving in at Stuart Findlay through his legs, which I'd give Xander Clark a slight out with the fact that it goes through the defender's legs here. It's very difficult when that happens.
Is it right in the corner, Michael?
It is down low, aye. But I mean, see, watching it in real time, I'm with Tom. You think, it's slow to get down, but watching the replay, you know what it's like? Somebody cuts in and they fire it between the defender's legs into the corner. It can be difficult for goalkeepers. Having said all that, it certainly doesn't help his confidence, because you can tell Xander Clark is suffering for a lack of confidence at the moment, because he's made some big mistakes. And I think obviously the speculation that the manager's looking to bring a goalie in as well, I think all of that is clearly just weighing heavy on Xander Clark at the moment. But look, he's the guy that's got the gloves at the moment. He needs to be performing to say, regardless of whether you bring somebody else in, I'm doing well. And unfortunately at the moment he's not doing well enough.
Findlay also culpable, allowing him.
You think it looked as if he went by, you'll be able to tell me, he went by Milne easy. He's got to do
very
better.
Easy, yeah.
So problem here for Ross County. It's the Kieran Phillips has just gone down, no one near him. He just sat down and he's had to be replaced by Jordan White. So a switch around up front for the Staggies, and Jordan White just coming on after a word with John Robertson, and the match is over for Kieran Phillips.
Right, let's get to Ian McCall. Quite an electric start in your game there, Ian. Has it settled down a little?
Yeah, listen, it's 100 mile an hour. It's a great game of football, and you know, Easton and McMullen are a real threat. I mean, they're playing as strikers, although Easton's almost a free role. But Thistle play, the two wingers, they play really, really wide, which is very unusual these days, getting a winger to play wide. It's been a terrific game so far, and there's more goals to come for sure.
Ian, we were speaking there earlier on about, you know, fans enjoying really good football. As a player, was there one particular team or one particular period you played in where you just really enjoyed it and felt the fans were getting their money's worth?
When I played?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a long time ago. I mean, we had a very good Falkirk team that won the title, and I think we beat Hearts 6-0 and beat Hearts 4-0. That was a very good football team, an awful lot of good football players in it. But listen,
you come up to Mull and got a doing for my team, did you not once?
No, but I'll tell you the interesting thing is, you're sending management questions to all these managers, and the thing that I think Biscuits, Willie Miller and Tony Docherty combined are about 700 games behind me, but anyway, I'll let that slide.
Fair comment.
You just keep looking for that photo yourself.
Easy, Ton.
Right, what about Mark Wilson then as a manager? You know, sometimes you get an idea, don't you, in managing a player if they're cut out to go on and be a manager. Did you feel that about Mark? Was you interested in that?
Sorry, Kerry, can we get a wee elaboration on them coming up to Mull and getting a doing off your team?
Ian McCall.
What was this? I'm not having that.
Well, Michael, we beat them about 20.
No, it was the first team. Yogi Hughes, Ian McCall. Don't think Kevin McAllister played. It was a charity game. Actually, Ian brought the programme into me a few days ago. It was about 26, 27 years ago, I think.
And you gave them a doing?
Oh, well, we started well.
I'll just tell you about Mark Wilson, shall I?
Tell me about Mark Wilson, that's far more interesting.
Well, you got a photograph up.
As Tony Dock knows, he was the first team coach for United. He was only 17 when he gave his debut, and he was, listen, if he hadn't had, I think he had 2 knee operations before he was 16, 17. I know he played 20 odd times for Scotland. He'd have played 3 times that. He was an outstanding footballer. Great boy. His record as a manager before now is really, really poor. But I tell you what, he set this team up really well. So maybe he deserved that opportunity. Again,
you know, Kilmarnock, Bruce Anderson a strike for edge of box, saved by the goalkeeper just after an attack from Motherwell. This is a brilliant game. Really, really good game. Both teams going for it. Those counter-attacking opportunities opening up for Kilmarnock, but good plays, getting Motherwell into good areas as well. But a really entertaining game here, 32 minutes in.
Alan, more issues for Hearts down the left side there.
Yeah, there's been issues down there. I think we're trying to get it right back in it. They're certainly going to be better as a flat back four. You know, Mullen's decent, you know, but he's been showing up for what he is as the wing back there. Not great defensively. He's got to do better for the goal, and down that side again, that's where the problems are coming.
There should be one up here, Kenny. It was a lovely cross into the box by McKenzie. He hands it up, obviously, with Oakley and Curtis Main in the box. It's a very dangerous ball, and Main attacks it, and he's got to get more purchase on it to get it by Callum Ferry. It's a weak header in the end, goes into Ferry's gloves, still 0-0.
I love a good boo. Where was that one there?
It's here, actually. There's been a clash off the park. Zach Rudden and Alex Iacoviti, and the ball was about 30 yards away. I just saw Rudden go down out the corner of my eye, and Iacoviti clearly thinks that the Rudden's at play act, and he's had a go at him when he's lying in the ground, sitting in the ground. Iacoviti's come over to him and give him a right verbal saying to. No foul awarded, so I can only assume that Alex Iacoviti might have a case and that Zach Rudden took a wee dive there.
In the Premiership today, Livingston 1, Hearts 0, Motherwell 0, Kilmarnock 1. Into the Scottish Championship, a full card today. Arbroath 0, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 0, Dunfermline 1, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 2, Wraith Rovers 1, St Johnstone 0, Morton 1. Perhaps a bit of a shock on the cards up there. Eamon Brophy with that goal. Into League 1, Inverness Cali Thistle 0, Alloa Athletic 0, Montrose 2, Peterhead 1. They've just pulled a goal back the away side. Queen of the South 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Stennismuir 0, East Fife 0. 5:30 start. Hamilton Accies are at home to Cove Rangers. And in League 2, Clyde 0, Elgin City 0, Dumbarton 0, Edinburgh City 1, East Kilbride 1. That was an early goal. Forfar Athletic 0, Spartans 0, Annan Athletic 0, Stirling Albion 0, Stranraer 0.
Penalty to Queen's Park.
Right, oh wow.
Yes, the ball goes into the striker Josh Fowler. He takes a nice touch. Can't quite see from a pole who it was that brought him down. However, against the run of play, Queen's Park have a penalty.
Do you know what? It's been a tricky old start, and Scott Brown, certainly after that Friday night opening game up at Arbroath, he was very critical of his team, and don't forget his very strong comments when they crashed out of the playoffs at the end of last season. Down in England, full-time score, Chelsea 2, Fulham 0, Manchester United 1, Burnley 0. That was an own goal for United. Sunderland 0, Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 1, Everton 2. 5:30 start. Leeds United at home to Newcastle United. Back to you, Rory.
Yes, indeed. Josh Fowler is the man who is going to take it, makers, takers and all that. So Josh Fowler's going to step up. Quite a straight run up, it looks like. David Mitchell in the goals, experienced keeper at this level, so we'll see what he can produce. Big chance for he steps up now, takes the stuttered run up, scores! Mitchell goes the wrong way, tucks it in the corner. Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 1.
Yeah, some shocks you'd have to say so far in the Championship, with that goal there for Queens down at Somerset Park, and with the goal that Willie brought us, albeit in a very poor phone line, but hopefully we'll get that sorted for you.
Oh, what a goal!
Yes, Chick.
That is magnificent, and it's Ronan Hale. Brings the ball down inside the 18 yards, glorious first touch, kills it, then volleys it on the bounce into the back of the net. No chance for Mason Munn in the Pars goal, diving to his right hand side. That is a classic goal, and it's Ronan Hale who scores it. It is Pars 1, Ross County 1.
Thanks to Chick there. That goal for Peterhead just pulled back. Kieran Shanks on 34 minutes. Montrose 2, Peterhead 1. Just Michael on Ronan Hale. He looks to me a good player, potentially a good future ahead of him. Are you surprised that no club in the top flight's made a move?
Well, I mean, he's clearly somebody that knows how to score a goal, and I mean, the issue you would then think is that obviously he's under contract at Ross County.
Goal at Firhill.
Yes, Ian McCall.
It's an equaliser for Wraith Rovers. Oh. Paul McMullen again getting down that right hand side, really good pace, just dinked it by the goalie. He could have went down looking for a penalty, stayed up, and he's picked up Matthews in the middle, who had a simple tap in. It's a thriller here already. It's Paris Thistle 2, Wraith Rovers 2. East
Kilbride 2, Forfar Athletic 0. Cameron Elliott on 37 minutes. Let's try and touch base with the moon again. Willie Miller, are you with us? Oh,
yes,
that's there
yes,
he is.
I am.
There he is.
Oh no, the line's been fixed.
A frustrating afternoon for you, Mr. Miller.
I think for everybody concerned, trying to get us up and running, but I'm up and running now, and this is looking like something out of a spaceship, to be perfectly honest. The piece of kit that I've got now, I hope I'm keeping it. Instead of the old thing that just was not working at all. Decent game of football here, you know, Morton in the lead though, Kenny. Great strike from Eamon Brophy. What a strike he had with his right foot. Looks up, picks his spot, top corner, curls it into it. But it has been all about, well, it hasn't all been about St Johnstone. In terms of possession, it's all been about St Johnstone, but that one piece of sublime magic from Brophy, we know that he's definitely got it, that's for sure, and he's used it to great extent. But you know, St Johnstone keep just chapping at the door. They're creating chance after chance, but they can't find the back of the net. So all to play for here, and it's a home side that's dominating, but they're 1-0 down.
Yeah, it looked, Rory, a very good signing, didn't it, from Dougie Emery, because they're a bit toothless last season, Morton, but he's such an experienced player, isn't he?
Fantastic. Brilliant tackle there below his nail. Motherwell worked an opportunity to get into the box there, and it's a really good recovery tackle there. But one thing I was going to mention, Kilmarnock need to be careful. Big boy Daniels up top, Dejanaro Daniels, he's been booked already. He's committed a few fouls since that, and I think Stuart Kettlewell, I'm seeing him speaking to Stevie Frew there, they might need to think about that, because he looks like he's in danger of getting off. But Motherwell definitely coming back into the game, and a brilliant recovery tackle from Lewis Mayo there.
Yeah, it'd be very sweet, but you'd have to say for Stuart Kettlewell if they can hang on there this afternoon. Rory, I'm just asking there about Eamon Brophy, a quality signing for Morton.
Yes, indeed, and he works hard, Eamon Brophy. I know he said he's not had his injuries to seek, so he's back playing now, and see if you work your socks off in the Championship, you will get chances as a forward player. And last week he worked ever so hard. He got his his goal through the penalty, and then he headed a lovely glancing header into the back of the net. So really good acquisition for Dougie Imrie, and you know, he's obviously started the season really well. 2 last week, 1 this week. It's flying.
Right, let's get back to Alan Preston. A very disappointing first half for Hearts, Alan, and looking threatening at all?
Not at all, no. It's very pedestrian from them, just going from side to side, not really going anywhere, not got the wingers on the pitch to try and create. Nothing really so far. Livingston, good value for their 1-0 lead at the moment, Kenny, I've got to be said.
You look at the stats there, Livingston versus Hearts. Livingston have won only 2 of the last 26 games against Hearts. I mean, this is... I know, listen, there's a long way to go.
I think the concerning thing, Tom, will be, and Alan touched on this, and Michael will jump in, I'm sure, but the amount of substitutions Derek McInnes is making at half times in games. He's clearly still really trying to find his best formation, his best lineup.
He has, yeah. Was it 2 last week, 3 the week before?
7 in the last 3 games.
7
at half time.
Yeah, at half time. That's not good at all. Look, he has the players. This is not a good performance at all, and that left-hand side is almost causing more problems there. He has to get that sorted. Right, the right side is the one everyone's talking about. The left doesn't look too clever, but he does have the players. You know, he's got a lot of good players. It's early days here. They're kind of pressing forward now. They're getting a lot of possession. So, yeah,
the right side's been. This is not just this year. This has been years since Michael Smith first arrived at the club. They've been struggling for a right back since then. It's been a real struggle for them, and you think this is there's a chance now for Livingston to go with Robbie Muirhead, looking to flash it across. Smith's coming in. Oh, they want a penalty. No chance. No chances at a penalty kick.
But the right side is such an issue that you're talking about McEntee playing there, and you know, it goes back to what we harped on about so long over the last couple of years, where square pegs and round holes. That is a classic situation like that. That McEntee's not a right wing back. You know, you may well be able to play him the odd game at right back or even at right wing back just to do a job, but he's not. That's not his position. So they don't have anybody. You know, it's not a case of they don't have a right back, but they can play a right wing. They don't have any play right wing back either.
No options.
So they don't have an option on the right hand side. That is an urgent, you know, position that needs to, because it's upsetting the balance of the whole team. And I said this last week, and you know, I'll reiterate it. Look at the team selections. There's not many of what you would class as the Jamestown signings that are in the side. It's Braga, and that's it at the moment.
Is that a concern?
Well, it's not a concern. It's just a statement of fact that, you know, the players that are coming in, the wide guys in particular, you've got to wonder, are they, you know, not able to play because there isn't a right back, so there's no balance, or are they up to speed and are they capable? I don't know.
That's what I'm asking as a concern, because we made so much about it, Michael. Oh my, who's dreadful?
Ayr United, apparently. Yeah, it was a thump up the pitch and it was given away.
It could have been worse, yeah.
Your fans aren't particularly happy. Apologies if you're picking up more than just dreadful. Oh, it's another shot by Queen's Park. I can see why they're getting frustrated, to be fair, because since the goal, Kyle Ure it was that gave it away, the young Celtic loanee, and he's given it away a couple of times since. He just needs to regain his composure in the middle of the pitch, because he's a good player. I've seen him a few times. He can play, but he just needs to regain his composure a wee bit after that penalty that he gave away. So Queen's Park very much in this game now, obviously being 1-0 up, but obviously having a good share of the possession now.
What's Scott Brown like down in that touchline, Rory?
He's relatively calm. He's talking to Stephen Whittaker at the moment. He's just relentless, this gentleman next to me. He's talking to Stephen Whittaker at the moment, obviously coming up to half time. I don't know whether he's maybe looking at a change. Main and Oakley up front, when it works well, but when it's not working or things are against you, there is a tendency to go long, and they've got too many good players in the middle of the pitch here to just bypass them all the time. So maybe he'll be looking at a way of trying to incorporate working through the thirds a little bit more, because it has been quite direct out with the first 15 minutes.
There's a chance. It's actually, yeah, good save by Xander Clark in the end. It's a lovely 1-2. Plays in Yenge's right foot shot. Clark gets something on it and gets it away. It's up the far end for me, but it looked a decent save. Spilled it a little bit, I think. I don't know.
Down that side again.
Managed to get away though, down that side.
Yep.
McEntee's, as Michael said, he's never going to be a right wing back.
He's a good player, isn't he, McEntee? I quite like the look at him.
Centre midfield player.
Yeah.
Bit of muscle in there, but it's apparent again, it's coming from that area, I'm afraid.
But what can Derek McInnes do, Alan? Is there anything he can do to change his shape?
Steinvender to right back, but he's a centre half. Go to a flat back 4. That's what's been happening in the last 3 games.
It's flitting between one, far from ideal system or personnel positionally to another, I do think that Steinwender is probably the best option, and you can play him as a right-sided centre-half who's comfortable sliding across to right back. But, because the game's fluid, look, so in certain aspects of the game you can play a bit more like a back 3, but he's the guy that's doing those 2 roles. Like when you watch this game, and Alan will be able to tell you, Stuart Finlay on a lot of occasions has been almost playing in a left back position, even though he's not, he's playing a left centre half. Steinwender could do that job on the right hand side and then get a winger higher up the park on the right hand side.
So I'm interested to see if there's a wee look at that one. Some goals. Yeah, take it away, Joey.
Oh, it's given us an offside. No, again, listen, it seems to be a bit of a pattern. I've got to say, Motherwell are really missing Callum Slattery. I think he's a fantastic player, and they just seem to be in the build-up player, getting into good area, that final pass, that final bit. There's another opportunity there, a cutback that was brought back for offside. But I think for all their dominance of possession, they need Callum Slattery in there to be the one that, he maybe makes that final pass or that final shot. But that they certainly are looking. They need a wee bit more creativity in that final third.
Yeah, we've had certainly Motherwell fans on raving about him. Dumbarton nil, Edinburgh City 1. Robbie Mahan with that goal on 39 minutes. East Kilbride now 3-0 up at home to Forth Athletic. Cameron Elliott with a goal right on the stroke of half-time. Tom English, today is a significant anniversary in Scottish football.
1-1 Motherwell side.
Oh, here we go.
Shoots. Oh, it's saved with a goal. And it's a goal. That's when he's with the follow-up. It's a goal for Motherwell. Just when I was saying about Slattery, his replacement side, a good piece of play, down that left-hand side for Motherwell. Goalkeeper saves it, and it's Maswanisi on the rebound. And I've got to say, on the balance of the last 4-5 minutes, that's a deserved equaliser for Motherwell. And I've got to say, it's a brilliant game here, really, really good game, and probably deservedly it's parity at the moment.
I know I'm a broken record. Goalkeeper?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they broke it at good pace there, Motherwell. You've got to say, plenty of bodies bombing forward, exposing the gaps in the Kilmarnock backline, but I don't think Said's shot was too powerful.
It's a good height, Michael, for the goalkeeper as well, and I think he puts it into an area, or you put it in that area, somebody's coming
You're asking for trouble.
In the net.
Here's a replay now, Michael.
We're just seeing it now, the replay, and it's a really good, well-worked move, lots of one-touch football. I just don't think the strike
right on half-time
is that strong and powerful that the keeper, he should be be able to save that without parrying it into such a dangerous area.
100%, yeah, and a massive boost. Just quickly, Tom, before we go to the half times, I said a significant anniversary for Scottish football today.
Yeah, this is the 50th anniversary of the launch of the Scottish Premier Division.
Brilliant.
Today.
Half-time at East End Park.
I can give you the classified results on the day if you like.
Oh, go for it.
Dundee 3, Aberdeen 2.
What game was Chica?
Hibernian 1, Hearts 0.
Right, that's plenty.
Motherwell 1, Ayr United 1. Rangers 2, Celtic 1.
Half-time at
St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 0.
Don't interrupt that score, thanks very much. Right, thank you very much to Ian McCall there with the half-time score.
Did people call it the SPL then as well?
The SPD, I don't know what the hell they called it back in 1975.
Whatever it is, it gives us plenty of entertainment and plenty of talking points. Even this afternoon, just 2 games in the top flight. It's been really, really interesting. Lots of talking points and some terrific matches, you'd have to say, in the Championship today. We'll give you all the half-time scores. A reminder, we are on the telly today. BBC on Scotland, 4:30 until 5:25. As Tony said, right in the stroke of half-time, 45+1. Maswanisi with that equaliser for Motherwell. Motherwell 1. Kilmarnock 1, and also today, just a reminder, 08085 92 95. They're all going to bang on about this because myself, Michael, and Tom had a good laugh in the studio with some of the voice notes that come in last week. There's so much to talk about. Motherwell fans, Kilmarnock fans, Hearts fans, a little concerned what you're seeing right now. The manager struggling to find his best starting 11, struggling at home today against Livingston. Livy fans, one joining us later. What a terrific start to the season for you. Any fans looking ahead to tomorrow's game? Dundee United, got a United fan joining us later. 08085 92 95 00. Send us a WhatsApp voice note and we'll get that out between 5:30 and 7 o'clock on Sports. And you're still playing through the Almond Vale, Alan?
We are, yeah. We had the injury to Xander Clark earlier on. Looked like he had a hamstring problem, but he's managed to recover. So we're into added on minutes here. And Hearts have got a free kick about 40 yards out. We're going to load the box, but it's been very disappointing. I've got nothing of any note really, apart from that Braga effort, just went wide of the target. Nothing else for Hearts. And Smith with that goal, 26 minutes, cuts inside Milne. Shot goes through Finley's legs into the bottom corner. We'll wait and see how Hearts get on with this free kick, and then how they do if they change again at half time.
Rory, apologies, I'm not sure in the middle of all that if you shouted half time, if you're still going there.
No, we're still going here, down in air. Home fans are a little bit disgruntled, one more than most, so it'll be interesting. I did mention at the top that Dom Thomas, Stuart Bannigan, both on the bench, experienced pros who can make a difference. So it gets to a point, I think, if you're not picking up results or performing particularly well, you need to look to these guys. So it'll be interesting to see if and when Scott Brown decides to do that. But we're still playing at the moment, and it's 1-0 to Queen's Park.
When you look at the Hearts side, the team that's there falls into the same sort of category and danger that's been before in terms of lack of creativity and pace. Generally Braga's got a wee bit of Braga's got a bit of pace, but he's not lightning, and nobody else is what you would class as quick. And that is, that's a bit of a concern.
It's been played into the hands of McGowan and Wilson. They're not, two of them have been brilliant pros, the two centre halves for Livingston. They were never blessed with pace at the highlights of their career, but it's been easy for them. Everything's been played in front of them.
And Shankland's, Alan?
Same. Won't run away from Danny or Ryan McGowan at all. So it's been until they get someone that's going to go over the top and cause them a bit of concern, the ball's hit over the top. It's going to be easy food and drink for these two guys.
You've got to say that the pitch does, and I know I was there obviously for that Premier Sports Cup game and I saw it firsthand, but looking at it on screen as well, it's infinitely better than what was done there.
You're right, Meg. I just felt when you're seeing these games live on television, it's getting broadcast all over the place, you see the quality was shiny. It didn't even look green.
I thought you were going to say something else there.
no, it was shiny.
What I will say is that just as Zanders came out. No, went wide of the target. Livy fans thought it was in. Xander Clark comes out, flaps at a corner, it drops, and it's a right foot shot, but goes behind the goals. They all thought it was in here.
This is a concern, Alan, for Hearts fans, is it not?
It is a concern, of course it's a concern. It's been a concern goalkeeper wise, obviously, with Craig Gordon out. Xander's not started well again. He flaps at that one, just gets a hand on it, pushes it down into an area where there's a shot, and as you say that, the referee, half-time whistle, 1-0, fully deserved to Livingston.
Thank you to Alan Preston. So we'll bring you all the half-time scores. We'll get the reaction from our pundits. We're on the telly today, BBC One Scotland, 4:30 until 5:25. We'll get fan reaction, pundit reaction and manager reaction on sports from between 5:30 and 7 o'clock this evening. Already there is so much to talk about. Stay with us on BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
Goal! From BBC Radio Scotland.
Yes, you're tuned to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland, on air until 7 o'clock this evening. 2 games in the top flight today. Let's start with that match. Alan Preston is watching through Amon Vale. Livingston at home to Hearts. And get the half-time report, Al.
Well, the half-time report, Kenny, is it's Livingston that lead by 1-0 and fully deserve to be ahead. Hearts had the first opportunity, and it was Braga. He played a nice 1-2 with Shanklin, and he goes through. It's an acute angle, but he drags his shot wide of the target. But the only goal came in 26 minutes. Ball's played right on the touchline to Smith. He goes by Milne as if he's not there. He cuts inside, and his shot goes through Finley's legs and beats Xander Clark low to his left-hand side into the bottom corner to give them a 1-0 lead. Yengi then had a shot which was well saved by Clark, and then just on the stroke of half-time, Clark comes out and flaps at a corner. The ball drops down. I think it was Muirhead's up the far end from me. I think he gets a shot, but it goes wide of the target. Hearts have created very, very little. Livingston fully deserve to be ahead. Half-time score, Livingston 1, Hearts 0.
Next stop, Fir Park, Motherwell at home to Kilmarnock. Let's get the half-time report from Tony Docherty.
Rain coming down now, but a really, really entertaining match this has been in the first half. Motherwell had the ascendancy to start off the game in that expansive style that they play, but really didn't have a lot to show for it, and after 10 minutes they really dominated the ball. But Kilmarnock started coming back into the game. There was a shot from the edge of the box from Polworth, a header from Daniels from a Thompson cross, and it just looked like the balance of the game was swinging a little bit, and that's what happened. They got the goal. It was a fantastically worked opportunity for the goal, and it's Daniels scores to put them 1 up, and I thought at that stage of the game Kilmarnock had done a job in Motherwell. They were very good defensively behind it and hitting in the counter attack, but however Motherwell got a little second wind there. I think they were bemoaning a wee bit the absence of Callum Slattery, because they were dominating possession again, but just not having that final pass. But just before the break there. Excellent play by Daniels, you know, and it gets into a good area down the left-hand side. Shot on the goalkeeper, and it palms out to Maswanisa, who scores the equalising goal. And I think it's probably quite accurate, you know, that scoreline just now, because Motherwell have been dominant, but Kilmarnock have played against that dominance really well and exploited weaknesses that they have in the back line, and having so much possession, Motherwell. A really exciting second half to come up here, but at the moment it's Motherwell 1, Kilmarnock 1.
Thanks to Tony. So one apiece there, as Alan was telling us. Livingston 1, Hearts 0. Let's get into the Championship. Willie Miller is at McDermott Park for us this afternoon. St Johnstone home to Morton. Let's get the half-time report.
Yeah, I'm Kenny, and it's a real setback for the home side, because Morton lead here 1-0 at half-time, and it was a piece of pure quality from Eamon Brophy, left-hand side of the box, 25 yards out. He just looks up and he puts that right foot through it. He knows where he wants to hit, and that's a top far corner, and he finds it perfectly, giving the goalkeeper no chance whatsoever. That was in 22 minutes. It's been predominantly the home side that's had possession. They've taken the game to Morton, but Dougie Emery's side have been extremely well organised and disciplined, and really St Johnstone have struggled to create any opportunities. Tumulty had a chance inside the box. It was rather a scrambled effort, just couldn't get his toe to it as it was cleared round about the 6-yard line. Sidibe had a header, but again over the bar with it. It was a good opportunity, should have done better, but the striker just putting it over the bar. Josh McPake had a curler with his right foot that he saw agonisingly going by the far post, and 2 free kicks, both taken by Tumulty, were squandered. So a lot of work to do to keep their 100% record here at McDermott for St Johnstone. They're under the cosh a little bit. They're 1-0 down.
Thanks to Willie Miller. A fantastic first half at Firhill. Partick Thistle at home to Wraith Rovers. Let's hear from Ian McCall.
It really was, Kenny. It was a terrific game of football. A lot of good players in show, both trying to play very attacking. I'll just run through the goals. Probably all we've got time for. 7 minutes. Really good pace by Aidan Fitzpatrick, a feature of the first half. He just cut it back. Tony Watt, good late run into the box. Easy finish, 1-0 Thistle. Second goal, 13 minutes. Fitzpatrick again, he outpaces the fullback. He finishes well, but will Josh Ray in the Wraith Rovers goal be a bit disappointed to get beaten his near post? But with the grass being quite wet, it really kind of fired into the net. Wraith got a lifeline in the 22nd minute. A great little give and go. 1-2 by McMillan and Easton. Penalty, it looked a penalty from up here, easily converted by Dylan Easton. They got the equaliser in the 37th minute. Again, pace from Paul McMillan. He knocks it past the goal. He could have went down, could have maybe got a penalty, but he stays up and picks out Ross Matthews for a tap-in. Wraith could have got a penalty. I think if VAR was here, I think they may have had a penalty in the 44th minute for handball. But a feature of the game, Fitzpatrick and Chalmers and McMillan and Easton, pace, trickery on this lovely pitch. It's been a terrific game of football. Half-time, it's Partick Thistle 2, Wraith Rovers 2.
Good stuff, thanks to Ian McCall. Next up, East End Park. Chick Young is there for us. Dunfermline against Ross County.
Yeah, Dunfermline 1, Ross County 1 at half-time, and just like Ian and the rest of the games in this division, it's been very entertaining. Good quality football, slick surface. It's raining here, East End Park, and the players have used these conditions to their best advantage. I would say 1-1's pretty fair on the afternoon so far. Pars are the better of it early on. They took the lead after 22 minutes. Corner on the right-hand side, a little bit head tennis, and Jeremiah Chilokoa Mullen scored with a header just into the goalkeeper right-hand post to put Dunfermline 1-0 ahead. The equaliser, though, was magnificent. It was Ronan Hale, a ball played through to him just inside the 18 yards box. His first touch was an absolute delight, and the second one just about eclipsed that. A drive beyond beyond Mason Munn in the Pars goal to equalise for Ross County. It was a great strike, great first touch, and it showed the quality that Ronan Hale has and why he's much talked about in managers' offices up and down the country. So it's 1-1 at half time. Good football match, entertaining, Kenny, and there must be a twist in this in the second 45 minutes, I would guess. Cheers.
Sorry, thanks to Chick Young. Rory Loy is at Somerset Park for us. Ayr United at home to Queen's Park. The half-time report from Rory.
Yes, indeed. As it stands at half-time, it is Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 1. The action started and got underway properly on the 5th minute when Liam Dick's ball into the box was met by Curtis Main at the back post. How his header was pretty weak. Lovely touch by Main into Oakley only 1 minute later, and Oakley's volley was saved and held by Callum Ferry, who's done everything very, very well this afternoon and been a rock at the back for Queen's Park. Oakley's volley was turned round the post again by Ferry on 23 minutes, whilst on 32 minutes a lovely cross by Mackenzie stood up to the back post. Main looked like he was going to run and head it into the back of the net, however he didn't get enough purchase on it. It's a wet day here, slipped off his head, and it was Ferry who collected once again. The first goal came on the 35th minute, and by now, as you can probably tell by my report, Queen's Park hadn't been up the pitch too much. However, they were on this occasion. The ball was played into Fowler from the wide area. It took a lovely touch, I have to say, and from my vantage point it did look like Kyle Ewer brought him down and John Beaton pointed to the spot. He tucked it away to Mitchell's right hand side. Mitchell went to his left. That put Queen's Park 1 up. I have to say, Ayr probably don't deserve to be 1 down, but that's neither here nor there because they are 1-0 down, and the home fans aren't particularly pleased given the poor start to the season. So at half time it is Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 1.
Yeah, that's been coming through loud and clear from the Ayr United fan sitting, I think, right behind Rory down there at Somerset Park. So in the Championship, Arbroath 0, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 0, Queen's Park 1, Dunfermline Athletic 1, Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 2, Raith Rovers 2, St Johnstone 0, Morton 1. Into League 1 half-time scores: Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Alloa Athletic 0, Montrose 2, Peterhead 1, Queen of the South 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Stennismuir 0, East Fife 0. 5:30 start. Hamilton Accies are at home to Cove Rangers. In League 2, Clyde 0, Elgin City 0, Dumbarton 0, Edinburgh City 2, East Kilbride 3, Forfar Athletic 0, Spartans 0, Annan Athletic 0, Stirling Albion 0, Stranraer 0. And down in England, full-time score: Chelsea 2, Fulham 0. Half-times: Manchester United 1, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, Brentford 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 1, Everton 2. 5:30 start. Leeds United at home to Newcastle United.
We've gathered together for generations.
They're the kind of supporters who will follow their team anywhere in the world.
With every hope.
The Tartan Army celebrate. Jordan, and it's a goal. McFadden going for goal. The stuff of dreams for Scotland.
Flags flying, pipes playing, hearts pounding. And now the next chapter begins.
Comes back to McTominay. Goal.
Belief lives here. The road to the World Cup.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Catch Denmark versus Scotland on Friday night. Watch on iPlayer or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. A wee reminder of what we've got for you today. We're on the radio right through until 7 o'clock, 5:30 till 7. We'll have fan reaction, manager reaction and pundit reaction. Tom and Michael will stay in the studio for that. You can send us a voice note if you've got any point at all to make a voice note on WhatsApp. 08085 92 95 00. There are quite a few coming in, so keep them coming and we'll get them played out later in the programme. If you've got a point to make, we'll put it to the guys in the studio later. We're on the telly today, BBC One Scotland, from 4:30 until 5:25. Already plenty of talking points across Scottish football this afternoon, Michael, and you feel quite a big second half for Hearts. It's going to be interesting to see what Derek McInnes does, given what you guys have been seeing, what amount of changes he's made in his game so far at half-time.
Absolutely. I mean, we spoke about it before in terms of there's a lot of positivity around the club, and rightly so. But losing in the cup to St Mirren meant that last week against Motherwell was another important game. It looked as if it was going to be dire straits. They were 3-0 down. All of a sudden they turn it around. Even though it's a draw, there's huge amounts of positivity due to the nature of the way the game unfolded. But then it goes into today and it's just another sense of, right, okay, the manager's still trying to find the right team, clearly not flowing as much as he would hope, and having to make changes. And today's just it falls into that category again. A difficult venue where you don't want to be giving Livy any sort of belief or a foothold in the game, and they've got that now. They're 1-0 up. They're the ones that are looking more dangerous, and Hearts are just looking a little bit flat.
How long is reasonable for him to be searching for his best team?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, but this is the point I'm trying to make about the Jamestown players that have been brought in primarily at the top end of the park, white guys in particular, who have been peripheral figures so far. I mean, Kibangu is clearly not fancied, and he was brought in, as a striker, but he's not featuring, which tells you everything you need to know. Braga is well and truly ahead of him in that sense. Jota is a wide guy that we've not seen a great deal of, and Kazaridis is on the bench. They're the two wide guys that are on the bench there today, and you're thinking at least one of them, potentially both of them, need to be on the park here and having an influence. And Derek McInnes he's spoken about it. We're not putting words in his mouth. No. We're not putting ideas on how to play into his mind. So the question is, well, why are they not there? And that's where I'm just wondering, are these guys up to speed? Are they good enough?
Well, we'll find out what Hearts have got in the second half. You can see the players just coming out there. So all the coverage, all the goals, all the drama, all the action coming up again on Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Back underway, Tony Docherty at Fir Park.
Yeah, 2 changes for Kilmarnock. Daniels, as I suspected, he picked up a yellow card and been a few silly challenges. He's been replaced by Marcus Dackers. There's another change in the middle of the pitch. Brad Lyons has come off. Brad took a knock, and knowing Brad, he wants to play every minute, every game. I think they must have been concerned, maybe concussion or something, and he's come off and been replaced by Tom Lowry. So 2 changes for Kilmarnock at the break.
And also Alan Preston changes at Ammanvale.
There's a change of shape again. Halkett's gone off. He's been yellow carded in that opening period, so that may have played a part on Derek Pitt taking him off. So it'll be McIntyre going to play right back, still not where he should be playing. And Kizaridis is on, he'll play wide right ahead of him. We're still waiting on Livingston coming out here, Ken.
Alan, talk to me about Benny Beningame. What does he offer for Hearts? Are you seeing enough from him?
Hearts need players that can create, that can score goals, the Hartleys, the Scatchells, the Colin Camerons, guys like that. Beningame and Devlin.
I think they're retired now.
No, I know, but I'd still take them, Michael, at the moment. Honestly, these guys, like in the middle of the park, they do all right, Devlin and Beningame. They don't score goals. They don't even look like scoring goals from the middle of the park. And so you're then relying on centre-halves going up for set plays. They're then relying on Shanklin and Braga up the top. You want goals from the middle of the park if you can. They need to give you goals. That's what they're certainly not. And Beningame is never going to really, I don't think it's 1 or 2 he's got.
So Asia will go in there eventually, Alan. Who comes out?
Well, there's talk about Devlin. He's got a trigger in his contract that he could go this window.
Right.
What would you think about that? He's been a good player for Hearts, hasn't he?
He's done well, but I think they can get better.
Right, interesting to see if that happens because the transfer window closes at 11 o'clock on Monday. We'll just get the guys' thoughts a little later on in terms of what they think various clubs needs the priority positions. So let's continue then our bounce around the grounds. Let's get to Willie Miller. Willie's at McDermott Park for us today, and a bit of work for the home side to do there, Willie.
Yeah, a lot of work I would suggest, Kenny. They're still dominating possession. There's no doubt about that. They've got plenty of the ball, but they're doing very little with it. I think you can put that down to Dougie Imrie's organisation. Morton are extremely well organised and not allowing too many spaces at all, and defending exceptionally well when they have to. So not any chances created in the second half. St Johnstone still with that possession in the box just now, looking to pick up the opportunities that might fall their way, but so far very few of them have fallen their way, and their lack of creativity must be concerning. Simo Valakari.
Oh, it's a chance for Queen's Park. They should be 2-0 up. It's Fowler again who actually missed. It's went behind for a corner to Queen's Park. They should be 2 up. Fowler steps over the ball, and the on-rushing Aidan Conley should knock it into the back of the net. David Mitchell at full stretch manages to tip it over the bar under the cosh. Don Thomas is on, by the way. He's come on for Ayr United, so still 1-0 to Queen's Park.
Rory, we've spoken a fair bit about Ayr United and their troubles at the start of the season, not the start that they'd have been hoping for, but what about Queen's Park? It was such a difficult campaign for them last term. How have they looked today?
It looked very much like the first 10 minutes they wanted to potentially weather the air storm and then build from there. They managed to do that as they've got another shot there, and they've just grown in confidence. You know, they weren't too adventurous in the first 10-15 minutes, and then as soon as they got a foothold in the game, Louis Longridge, experience in the middle of the pitch, started to make some passes. That built them into the game. Aidan Conley into the right hand side as well, was experienced at this level, and they took confidence from the goal, and they've been absolutely fine ever since. United should have scored with the chances they've had, but at this moment in time it's a pretty even game.
Goal! And already it's made a change, and it's Braga again. Kizaridis, he won the corner already at the start. Hearts looked better, a flat four, a winger on. He goes to the byline, he whips it in, the keeper Pryor saves the first one, so it goes out for a corner. It's taken shot, back to Kizaridis, he whips it across, and there's Braga getting across the front post and heading it into the back of the net. There we go, flat back four, wingers on the pitch, gets you back in the game, 1-1.
Huge difference. I mean, Alan's obviously touched on a number of points there, but even just the passage of play just before it when Kizaridis picked it up, and he was probably 10 yards inside the half, he was getting closed down, and all you see, and this is how it's so important to get balance in your team, because if you continue to just have guys that do the same thing, then you're never going to be able to break a team doing it. And when you've got a player or a team that just have nobody that's going to take people on 1v1, then it just becomes, they get the ball, they pass it, and it becomes netball. Whereas Kizaridis, he got the ball 10 yards inside that, and he went to drive past the Livingston player first of all, got a free kick. Then all of a sudden it was free kick, he got out wide again, and as Alan said, drops the shoulder, goes to try and take the guy on, smashes it across the face of the goal, and it went out for a corner, and the goal comes to it. But instantly, there's more pace in the team, and it looked far livelier.
It's a nice finish, actually.
Great finish.
Yeah.
Great
decisive as well, wasn't it? It was decisive, it was crisp.
It's taking players on. If you don't have players who are capable of eliminating the opposition, the game is played in front of them. Everyone's in front of them. And if you don't, and especially, you know, when you're talking about a team well drilled like Livy, who are then quite comfortable going man to man, you've got to have people that can eliminate. They beat one player, it causes a problem to the next, because all of a sudden they've got to step out of their position, or they've got a decision to make.
And they're on the attack again, Al.
They are, they've got another corner. They're shouting for a penalty at the back post. Don't think so, it's been booted away. It's a corner that they do a lot. They play it deep to the back post, and McEntee gets on the end of it. Or it'll be Kent sometimes as well, but it's always a deep corner, and they try and get on the second ball. But a better start from Hearts in the second half. Obviously got the equaliser in 47 minutes. Worst possible start for Livingston, but Hearts just look so much better at a flat back four, even this early in the second half.
In the women's European qualifying, Hibs have gone 2-1 now away to Apollon Limassol. Kathleen McGovern a second the game on 48 minutes. Let's get to Ian McCall.
But just to touch on that, it's not the fact that they're playing a back four that makes it, it's because of the balance that then brings higher up the park. You know, they've got the pace, they've got players that are able to eliminate.
Can I ask an obvious question?
Yeah.
Why does he not start with that?
He's not got a right back.
Because that's why I keep harping on about this. That is the crux of the issue for Hearts. McEntee is not the solution at right back. He'll do the odd job for you, but you know, he's trying to find a solution, and unfortunately every game that he's played the first half hasn't worked. So it's like, well, I need to change something.
But that's my point. You couldn't start with the second half formation and team.
Right, but but that could quite easily not work as well.
Right,
because McEntee's not a right back.
I have another simple question. Why doesn't he have a right back?
Good. Well, Borchgrevink's injured, but I'm not sure that he's good enough anyway.
Right.
So I would be making it my #1 priority to go out and get a right back.
Chance, Motherwell. It's
yes,
out for a corner shot from the edge of the box from Elijah Just. Good play. The pattern of the game very much like it was in the first half.
Are they a good watch, Tony? Motherwell, they're a good watch.
It's a good game. I think you're doing a discredit there to Kilmarnock, because they're playing their partner game as well. But they've got an expansive style. They play out from the back. They've got brilliant rotations. Really impressive player today has been Elliot Watt in the middle of the pitch.
He was brilliant
punching
last
little
week,
passes.
He was magnificent at Tynecastle. And I watched him at St Johnstone, and I thought, he's not the same player.
Good player. He gets on the ball, punches passes into those wee areas. His rotation's good, and he's, for me, the standout player at the moment. And he's the one that's making Motherwell at the moment be dominant. They're getting a corner into the box now, and I would say in the balance of play, they're the one that look most likely to take the lead here.
It's real risk and reward that they play. It's brilliant to watch. It really is.
Yeah,
it's
we're all
great
enjoying
to watch,
it.
But
yeah.
I've got to give a bit of credit for Kilmarnock as well, that you need to soak up that and hit them in the break. And they did that quite well. They've done a job on them, so it's a really
Kizaridis
again.
of
viewing here. Good game.
Causing trouble. Kizaridis wide on the right. rolls it into Benningham. Hearts have got another corner.
And it just gets the crowd excited as well, doesn't it?
The crowd are going mad, as you can imagine.
And how many thousand was it, Alan, through there today?
6.5 Hearts.
Fantastic.
6,500 Hearts.
Absolutely fantastic. Fair play to them. Queen of the South 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Aaron Arnott the equaliser on 53 minutes.
Could be a penalty here for Motherwell.
Right.
Could be a penalty.
Michael, have a look at this, Tony. Here we go.
Just seen the replay at the moment, Doc. Oh, yeah. I'd need to see the replay.
He has to have something in the ball there. If he's not, he's done, isn't he? 'Cause it's quite a...
Is it Robbie Dees, I think, that makes the challenge?
I think he does.
It's just basically the Motherwell, the ball's slid into the box. Motherwell player steps across the Kilmarnock defender as he's going to make the clearance, and you just wonder, has he got in front of him, or has the defender been able to get a touch? And I couldn't tell you definitively from that.
We need a close-up,
Need a
don't we?
replay, yeah.
Right, so we're going to see if the referee actually stopped. Here we go, Michael. Here's a better chance.
The game. He's spending a bit of time. He's pointing his earpiece, so they're obviously looking at it now in VAR.
Oh, it's so quick. Here we go.
Touch and go. I still couldn't. I honestly still couldn't tell you.
No,
I still couldn't.
I just
tell
think that, yeah, but it's the last couple of minutes of play with, you know, with the dominance. Kilmarnock went so deep into the box, and you know it's like that, and you play things into strikers' feet. I just wonder if the striker gets the first touch there. You know, I can't see any replays, but that ball into his feet there, it looked like a good call for a penalty.
The problem, Doc, is that all the replays, it's like the cuts and the pictures are just at the moment of contact, and you can't really see who's got the first touch on.
So he's getting spoken to now, Tony, the referee. He's getting some instruction here, so I'll see if he gets called over. Big moment in this game here at Fir Park. Robbie D's looking very concerned there, you'd have to say. No penalty. Right, well, maybe actually, you know what, VAR HQ they always listen to us. We'll hopefully get some guidance on that. As Michael said, we didn't get a clear enough replay of actual contact there, so keep you posted on that one. Wolves 1, Everton 3, Kieran Dewsbury Hall with that goal on 55 minutes. Let's get back into the championship. Ian McCall is watching a cracking game at Firhill this afternoon. Oh, Chick!
Dunfermline have taken the lead, and it's Zach Rudden inside the box. Delightful finish, ball from the left hand side. He runs across the defender, plays it with the outside the right foot, and across the goalkeeper into the net. Dunfermline ahead into the second half. Dunfermline 2, Ross County 1.
Could get him another move, that.
No, this one, Doro. Remember the next one.
Really good game there. Also a very good game.
He's again. He's been brilliant since he's come on.
Yes, Al.
He's taking men on for fun. He's really unlucky. He thinks he's won a corner, but what a difference. Livingston are going to have to make a change. It's all one-way traffic at the start of the second half.
Right, let's try and get to Ian McCall at Firhill. Partick Thistle 2, Wraith Rovers 2. Is that a fair reflection of what you've seen, Ian?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the game's been a little bit quiet in the second half, but to credit Barry Robson, you know, Wraith are going for it. They've changed to 3-4-3. They took off Josh Mullen. They're now playing Elias Vaughan up front with Paul McMullen and Dylan Easton roaming around them. So it's still a very stretched. The game's very stretched, but there's not enough in each box this half. Still 2 each here.
Let's get back to Willie Miller, because Morton could be on for a very big win there, you'd have to say, against the title favourite St Johnstone, leading 1-0. Willie, what's happening now?
It'll be a huge victory for them. You know, 3 draws so far in the league campaign, and looking really solid. Kenny, you know, they have the odd 40 forward. They haven't really created too many opportunities, just that wonderful goal in the first half. But in the second half, St Johnstone really struggling. I don't think their tempo is high enough. Yeah, they're keeping possession. They're passing it from side to side. Ballycarry wants to play that style of football, but you've got to do it with a little bit of pace. You've got to try and move players out of position. And at present, just now, with Morton playing the 4-5-1, they're not being moved at all. So a really tough afternoon so far for St Johnstone, and as I said, they're going to need something special, I would suggest, to break this Morton defence down. Still 1-0 for the visitors.
Kenny, you were talking about attendances there at Livingston. A really good crowd. They're just under 5,000 East End Park, and remember, Ross County have only brought a couple hundred down the road, so Neil Lennon's got something going here, and if they continue to play like this and get the points and climb this league, it could be very interesting what's happening at East End Park.
East End's a great stadium.
Brilliant stadium.
Aye, it's a great stadium, and yeah, there's a good fan base there that definitely, if they get engaged, they'll come out. There's no doubt about that. I'm just looking at you know, the Hearts, and for me, where Blair Spittle's playing now, that's his best position. You would think that, you know, he should be able to play more centrally in a midfield three. But often, I think when Hearts play that, they don't have enough pace elsewhere in the team, and he actually suffers for it. So even though he plays in this 4-4-2 to a certain extent, and he plays off the left-hand side, so it's a very similar position. When they're playing this system, they tend to have more pace in the team.
They look a completely different team.
Yes,
it's a great ball.
Different team.
It's a great ball from Casaridis over the top to Braga. He's got to go across the goal, goes narrow side, hits the side net in.
But what does this tell you? The importance of balance in your team. You know what I mean? There's one change. It's not as if Casaridis is a world beater, but he's got something that the other players don't have. And all of a sudden you've got players in positions that they're more comfortable with, and it looks far better.
Yeah, look, a real threat, you'd have to say, Alan, and Livy responding with a change.
Yeah, Shinnie's coming on. He comes on for Bokila, he's going off. Shinnie will just go and play in the middle of the park. That would mean Muirhead will be up on his own, because Davies just trying to stop it at the moment, because it's all Hearts at the start of the second half. It's a completely, like last week actually, well, after an hour, it was a game of sort of almost two halves last week at Tynecastle. But the first half this was all Livingston deserved to be ahead, but they've started the second half. Hearts have come right out of the traps, made the shape change, made the personnel change, and it's got them right back into the game.
A game of 2 1/3.
Exactly.
Michael, here's one, and we were chatting about this earlier in the week actually. Burnley have equalised with Manchester United. Lyle Foster with a goal in 55 minutes. You can't believe what's going on there. And actually, we've spoken a lot about Brendan Rodgers post-match media conferences. We've spoken an awful lot.
Chance, goal, Motherwell.
All right, take away, Tony.
And it's been coming, there's no doubt about it. It's Emmanuel Longello, the left back, pushed on, but they really have been dominating possession. Comana almost into the 5-4-1, almost a 6-3-1 shape at times, and they've been dominating the ball, getting into good areas, and for me it was a matter of time. There's a penalty claim just before that, but it's a well-deserved lead that Motherwell have taken just now, and it well advanced the left full-back, Longello. A couple of efforts from the striker, Stamatilopoulos. His shot was blocked, but it came back out, got recycled, and a good finish from the left back at the edge of the box. A well-deserved lead that Motherwell have taken now.
I just concur exactly with what Tony is saying there. Thoroughly deserved for Motherwell. In the end, they break quickly, and it looked as if it was going to be a great goal from Stamatilopoulos as he drops inside and has the strike. But after that, it feels like it was a wee bit, you know, there's plenty of bodies back for Kelly, but they're almost just like rabbit caught in the headlights sort of stuff. They're ball watching, they're desperately just trying to shut something down, and it becomes a little bit scrappy in the end. But it's a good finish from Longello once it falls to him at the edge of the box, fires it on the volley into the ground, into the bottom corner. And that's, you know, I said it after watching Motherwell against Morton in the League Cup before the league campaign started. If they can sort out the top end of the park, they will have a very, very good season. And bit by bit, I've got to say, they are looking more dangerous in that final third. Obviously, Regan Charles-Cook coming into the squad as well.
Aye.
Saeed's getting a bit more game time. Obviously, the manager knows him from previous as well.
Just watching them here, Nick, there looks like a bravery. You know, they're taking the ball in areas where they're confident. As a goalkeeper playing one straight in the middle of the pitch, and they've worked out
even though they're getting pressed, they're getting pressed on the edge of the box, but they're just popping it. And that's what I was saying to Kenny earlier on. You only do that when you've worked on it non-stop, so the players are comfortable doing it because they know they've got the options, and the players will go and show for it because they know, like, that's fine, I'm going to take the ball, but I've got somebody to pass it 5 yards away.
And an interesting comment you made to me as well earlier. You were talking, because I was asking if the comparison between Motherwell and Rangers, two sides that look to
sorry, Kenny, can you have a look at this incident here?
Right.
It's Muirhead and Finlay. Both sets of fans are shouting for the players to be sent off.
which I think tells you everything. Biscuits, it's a football challenge between two folk. Yeah, they're both hurt. You can't. For me,
I don't know where the foul's going.
You can't blame anyone, really.
Yeah. I don't know who's giving the foul to be honest.
I didn't see it. We've not seen a replay of it. I just caught it as you were saying, because obviously we're a couple of seconds behind you. And it just looks like a ball in between the two guys. They're both committed, 50-50. Is it Finlayson that slips at the end? It is. Yeah. He sort of slips at the end as well a wee bit, and he gets clobbered in his head with Stuart Finlay's arm as he's just coming through. It's just a collision between the two of them, and the referee's getting his book out here, I think.
Who gets the foul? I think Hearts are getting the foul here. I think that Finlayson might find himself yellow carded when he gets up.
Hearts get the free kick and Finlay gets booked. That would do. What would it?
Finlayson.
Oh, I thought you said Finlay. I thought you said Finlay.
No.
Well, actually, that brings on
a
a good point. There's a few ways to get in touch with us. I've been punting all afternoon. 08 085 92 95. Below sends a voice note on WhatsApp. Also on the live text on the BBC Sport Scott website, the Get Involved section there. This was before the goal, second goal in for Motherwell. Mark, a Motherwell fan, says Motherwell are playing great football once again, but Kelly are carving us open like a pumpkin on Halloween. Been a great game, however. I think guaranteed entertainment every Motherwell game this season. And just on that, Michael, James says refereeing at Fir Park is shocking. Inconsistency is an understatement. If this is the best we have to muster up, I fear for a game. But in fairness to the referees, we've not spoken an awful lot about them this season.
No, and if you look at the goal that Fulham were disallowed today, you'll realise just because they've got loads more cameras down south and they're professional referees, their VAR is no better than Scotland's.
Don't care.
I've always had
well,
this.
I do care.
I've always had this. I mean, some people say that professional, making referees professional up here would make a big difference. I'm not sure what evidence for that.
I don't think there's any
Could be a
evidence.
penalty or it's a booking for diving at Firhill.
Right, that's the second time today, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the first time the penalty was actually given.
Yep.
I think Lewis Vaughan has nutmegged the tussle. I think it was O'Reilly. I think he nutmegged him, and I think there was contact. Whether it was enough to go down, but he went down and he didn't take the chance, which was a great chance to put Wraith Rovers 3-2 up. He's been booked, no penalty, still 2-each.
I'll tell you why it matters, Michael, down south.
Well, why don't you ever tell us what happens in the Bundesliga?
I'll tell you why it matters.
Serie A.
I'll tell you why it matters, because down south, up here, we're told give VAR time. England are miles and years ahead.
So's La Liga
of Scotland in VAR,
so
and it's not working. That's my point. You stop a second.
Well,
my point is that people up here say VAR, give it another number of years. Well, England have had extra years.
How's it
and
working
still
in La Liga?
Horrendous mistakes.
How's it working in La Liga?
Tom, I bet you can't wait till Michael gets that Ross County job.
He's a great listener, Alan. He'd do brilliant in Football Manager.
Do you think there's anyone who would sign up to be his assistant? I'm not sure.
Phone Tom up to be the media officer.
I tell you what, I'd love to interview you as a manager. I think you'd have a bit of trouble.
With all of that.
I've got plenty of specifics for you.
Oh man, that would be glorious.
Man United were pegged back one apiece at home to Burnley. They've now gone 2-0 up at home to Burnley.
Chance, Motherwell 1-on-1. Stamatopoulos, he's dragged it wide. That's a good recovery tackle.
Doc, you'll learn that he doesn't get a lot of touches.
Can I just call number 9?
You've done really well with that, Tony, I have to say today. Well,
the pronunciation's very good.
I was up all night.
Tony, just on that point, the fans making there at that game at Fir Park, is there anything you've noticed?
What are you talking about? Analogy with the pumpkin?
No, in terms of the referee.
I think the referees, listen, I don't know. I've not taken too much notice of him, to be totally honest, which is probably a good thing. It's the two teams that I'm focusing on now, and the contrasting styles and the competition between them that's serving up. That the referee's not done much. But come back to your point with the Aberdeen game the other night. My God, it just shows we think we've got a problem in this. I don't know who
exactly, Tony.
So it's not just a Scottish thing. That I think the VAR, for me, it's not worked. It comes down to a lot. It comes down to basic human error, and that was an example of that the other night.
Would you have been it?
Aberdeen.
Was that a manager? Tony, would you have been it?
Was that a referee and VAR officials from England?
No.
Why did you not use that as an example, Tom?
This is not an uncommon occurrence. Does anybody know what point Michael is trying to make here?
Now, but let me make a point, Tom. Hearts are going to bring on the record signing.
Oh, here we go.
Eduardo Aju, he's coming on for Blair Spittle.
Tony, just you experienced, we spoke a lot about, of course, the penalty was conceded to Ross County towards the end of the season. Have you changed your mind in VAR? Do you still think it's a positive for our game?
It's a positive if it's used properly. Those two instances you're talking about, the Aberdeen incident and the incident when I was managing Dundee last year, I think that basically comes down to a referee reading a situation, using a bit of common sense, and they need to understand that their decisions are consequential. I mean, that decision for Aberdeen the other night, the amount Aberdeen have invested in that as a club, that other instance you're talking about, that relegated a club from the Premier League, and it's a VAR decision, but it's a VAR decision that is, it comes down to human decision making, and when the decision making's wrong, that's what they'll do. I always think any game of football, there's 3 teams. There's the home team, there's the away team, and there's a team of officials, and too often the officials don't get it right, and it affects the other 2 teams.
No, listen, I think it's a really good point. But I say on the plus side, we've not spoken a lot about referees this season, which, as you said, in terms of that game today, Tony, is a very good thing. They're both won Ergin and Nikolai Todorov on 66 minutes. East Kilbride cruising now at home to 4th. Of course, favourites for the League 2 title. Cameron Elliott with that goal on 70 minutes. We're going to go on to the television in a couple of minutes' time, 4:30 until 5:25. On BBC One Scotland. We'll just continue in open mics as normal. We'll get the goals for you, we'll get managerial reaction, the pundits will give us their reaction. The conversation continues on BBC Radio Scotland. Once we are off air on the telly, we're on till 7 o'clock. We'll get fans coming on. There's lots of voice notes coming in today. If you've got a point to make to the lads, a rant, talk about referees, anything at all, a positive story like these two, 08085 92 95 00. Send us a voice note on your WhatsApp. So we'll just keep this in the studio for now until we go on to television, John. But 2 really interesting games in the top flight today. Motherwell are all expecting a lot from them this season. They go behind, they get themselves back in the game, they're ahead. Hearts, they're behind. Derek McKinney's made the change. They're now in the ascendancy.
Yeah, absolutely. Motherwell continuing to impress, playing some good stuff. What are they, 3rd in the league now as it stands? Really, really good. And Hearts fighting back much better in the second half, but still it's a draw, and this draw is not going to be really a great result for them.
No, you'd have to say that. So we're just about to go on to the television, but the action continues right here on BBC Radio Scotland. Everything stays the same. You won't miss an absolute thing. It's going to be really exciting as we go into the closing stages. Both these top flight matches have plenty at stake right now. Very hard to call. You'd have to say welcome to viewers who have joined us on BBC One Scotland. As ever in Scottish football, there is no shortage of drama. Michael Stewart and Tom English are alongside me in the studio. Let's take you on a journey right away around the grounds. 2 games in the top flight this afternoon kicked off at 3 o'clock. First stop, West Lothian, Livingston at home to Hearts. Alan Preston is there for us.
Yeah, it was half-time. It was Livingston 1, Hearts 0 when Hearts run the changes in the second half to get back in the game. But the opening goal came in 26 minutes. It was Smith wide on the right, goes by Milne as if he wasn't there, cuts inside and let's fly a shot from 25 yards, goes through Finlay's legs and beats Clark low down his left-hand side. Livingston fully deserved to be ahead at half-time, but into the second half, Derek McInnes once again rang the changes. Kizaridis come on, and within 2 minutes he makes an instant impact. He wins a corner, and then it's played short to him from that corner. He whips it across, and there's Claudio Braga running across the front post for a flick header into the back of the net. It's been all Hearts in the second half. Score at the moment, Livingston 1, Hearts 1.
It's remarkable, Michael. You touched on earlier on how these changes have completely changed this game through Amon Vale.
Yeah, it's just getting a bit more pace and directness into the Hearts side. Kizaridis made an instant impact in the wide areas. I think Livy have just been able to sort of stem the tide a little bit as the second half's worn on. They've been able to double up and just shut Kizaridis down a little bit quicker to stop him being so effective down that right-hand side. But for Hearts, I think you're spot on with what you said a couple of minutes ago there, that they need to get a second goal to get the 3 points.
Firhill!
Ian McCall is at Firhill. It's been a fantastic game there this afternoon. Ian, who's in front now?
Party Thistle in front. I'm going to try and get the goal scorer. It was Aidan Fitzpatrick again. It was a really daft header from Dylan Easton. He's actually knocked it into Aidan Fitzpatrick's path, and he's fired it across to the back post, and it's a great finish. I'm almost certain it's Chalmers that puts Party Thistle 3-2 up. I think it's deserved as well. Fantastic game there right from the start. Ian McCall predicted goals, and that's certainly come to pass. Just elsewhere, some goals. Burnley have equalised away at Manchester United, 2 apiece there, and elsewhere Stirling Albion 1-0 up at home to Stranraer. Ryan Shanley with that goal on 70 minutes. Let's get to the game at Fir Park. Motherwell at home to Kilmarnock this afternoon. Let's get the latest from Tony Docherty.
Yeah, a real kind of statement of intent, I think, from Motherwell here. They've made 3 substitutions, 2 debuts coming on. Oscar Priestman, Regan Charles-Cook, the 2 debutants, and Callum Henry, a striker I've worked with myself. And it just shows you there's real depth in that squad. You know, to bring on 3 players of that quality and into a game where they're dominating Kilmarnock team here have started the season well. As I say, it's a wee bit of a statement of intent.
I think one thing's for clear, Tom English, that any game involving Motherwell this season, and we had a belter last weekend, is going to have no shortage of drama.
They're great fun to watch. They're playing good stuff. They're scoring good goals. They have an effervescence and a confidence about them under the new manager that just wasn't there before. I mean, Motherwell fans must be loving this. Really must be.
Certainly the crowd are loving this. You're right, Tom, and they're saying, but do you know what? You can't like Kilmarnock. Just as I say that, they break up the park. Because that is the thing Michael said about risk and reward. As good as they are to watch, when they're opened up to play and as expansive, you know, they do have that risk that they can get cut open going the other way, and that was an example of it there. But yeah, I've got to say there's a real healthy atmosphere for the crowd here. They're enjoying what they're watching, and as I say, when you see the quality of particularly Callum Henry and Charles Cook coming on in a game that you're dominating, it shows you that they get depth in that squad also.
Has Stuart Kettlewell, Tony, changed anything from a Kilmarnock perspective?
I was a wee bit surprised. He took off a striker and put on a midfield player. They put on McGuinness and McKenzie and took off Polworth and Bruce Anderson. You know, I thought maybe he might have went with Marley Watkins for it, but listen, he's put an extra midfielder in there, and again they've got a focal point in Dackers, and they're maybe going to try and expose that counter-attack, play off him and get midfield runners beyond it. But they've took a striker off for a striker and a midfielder off for two midfielders.
Inverness Cardiff Thistle 1, Alloa Athletic 0, Liam Soul on 72 minutes, Dennis Muir 1, East Fife 0, Ewan O'Reilly on 74 minutes. That third goal for Partick Thistle has been credited to Logan Chalmers. What a game there. Thistle 3, Wraith Rovers 2. Let's stay in the championship. Potentially a big shock in the cards in Perth. Willie Miller is at McDermott Park for us this afternoon. St Johnstone against Morton. What's the latest there, Willie?
Yeah, Ken, it's been a real struggle for St Johnstone this afternoon. Yeah, they've passed the ball. I don't think quickly enough. I don't think the tempo's been high enough. There certainly haven't been enough creativity in and around the Morton box. But you've got to hand it to Morton as well. The way they've set up, and their back four, in particular Longridge and Moore, have been really solid at the heart of that defence, and they haven't given the St Johnstone strikers an opportunity, barely an opportunity. There's been shots from outside the box. McPake had a couple of strikes, but they've all been long-range shots.
Chance, almost another goal, Motherwell.
Right, let's go back to Tony Docker. He's watching the game at Fir Park. Motherwell at home to Kilmarnock. Another big chance there, Tony.
From the corner. The corner came from brilliant play from Regan Charles Cook. You know, driving down that left-hand side, cutting inside, putting the ball across to Callum Henry. Another one who's just come on, and it's the resultant corner. The ball gets put across, and it's Liam Gordon that makes a header across, and the aforementioned number 9 nearly turned it in.
It's an absolute Stamatolopoulos. Yeah,
there you go.
It was a great move, wasn't it? You know, another classic Motherwell move. The goalkeeper had it. They built it right from the back. But again, just highlighting the importance of players that go and beat their opponent 1v1, because it went in the middle of the park. Regan Charles Cook picked it up under a bit of pressure, dropped his shoulder and drift past his opponent and drives down the line, and all of a sudden they're up in the final third. Just all-round really good play, and they've got good balance in their team, Motherwell.
Michael, back to that game. Willie's at McDermott Park. Potential shock in the cards there. You had a good chat with the St Johnstone manager, Sumi Valakari, a couple of weeks ago. He's loving life at the club, loving life in the championship. They are title favourites despite a potential setback today. Do you like the look of the squad he's put together there? Are they favourites for you in this early stage of the season?
Yeah, I would put them as slight favourites. I think there's obviously a number of teams that are capable of putting a challenge in, but they're you know, I said this last week. I think that when you look at the squad that they've got, I don't think it's arguably. I think it is definitely a better team and squad than they had last season in the top flight. And yeah, they'll need to be a good opponent in the championship to get in front of St Johnstone and take the title. But there are a number of teams that will be able to compete. There's no doubt.
Well, I wonder
first sight to goal. Yep. Sorry for Hearts record signing Eduardo Aju. Hits it, pulls it wide, 25 yards. He's looked some nice touches when he's come on very early in his Hearts career, but he looks decent.
I wonder if two potential title challengers in the championship are facing off at East End Park this afternoon. Dunfermline at home to Ross County. Chick Young is there for us. What's the latest, Chick?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Ross County are the way they're playing today in the second half. I'd be surprised if they're in about the promotion battle. Kenny, they're trailing here by 2-1. They've got an injury down there at the moment. The game has been stopped. It's the Pars ahead They went ahead early in the game. Chilcoa Mullen scoring there was a magnificent equaliser, remember, from Rory Hale, 1-1 at half time. But Zach Rudden, in his debut, has put the Pars 2-1 ahead in front of a big home crowd of nearly 5,000 inside the ground, and he's consequently been substituted. We've got another baldy striker up front, and Chris Kane. So Rudden off, free kick to Ross County just outside the box, whipped in, and I think the Pars will deal with that at the back. Yes, they have. It's still 2-1 to Dunfermline.
Tom English, we were chatting earlier on about, of course, Don Cowie parted company with them this week at Ross County. John Robertson, interim charge today. I wonder if he's going to get a wee run at it, or do you think they'll go elsewhere? You feel they need to get back on track quite quickly?
Yeah, they do. They need to get back on track. I don't know. I don't know if John Robertson is going to get a run at it. I think there's some decent managers available at the moment. So I think
it's a goal, Commander.
Oh, right! Wow! Another goal.
Totally against it on a plate, and a huge mistake by the goalkeeper, Callum Ward. The ball's played in from a deep area from Lewis Mayo. He's dropped the ball. I don't know how it looked for you guys in the studio. For me, it just looks like a mistake.
Yeah,
and he's dropped the ball and they've lost the goal. And oh my God, it's a ridiculous goal to lose. You know, when you've been so dominant in the game, and really something's just thrown in the box, and it now goes to 2-2. It's a gift, exactly.
It looks like a shocker from the keeper, but I don't know. I mean, he's claiming that he's had his jersey pulled, I think.
It's equaliser.
Right,
that's equaliser. Yeah, equaliser for St Johnstone. Kenny in from the right-hand side. Josh McPate strikes it low into the near post of the goalkeeper. Could have done a little bit better, I would suggest, but a good strike. He's looked lively. He's had a couple of strikes from outside the box, and this occasion his third effort nestles in the back of the net. So it's an equaliser for St Johnstone.
They checked it in VAR, and Kilmarnock managed to get herself back in the game. It's 2-2 getting into the 82nd minute. Now,
Michael, you've got a chance to have a look at that.
Quite rightly so. I mean, it's, you know, I think it was it Robbie Dees that just went in behind him?
Ran across the front of the goalie, but didn't put him off.
He went in behind him. I think he maybe just tickled his back. You know, it certainly wasn't a free kick.
And very much now game on up in Perth.
You know, you work.
There's a chance for Hearts. Braga's missed it. That's an absolute sitter. Eduardo Aziu goes through. The keeper makes a good save. It comes to Braga. He's put it in the back of the net. Hits the post.
His head is in his hands on the screen. He can't believe it, Michael.
A couple of mistakes here from a goalkeeper and now from a striker.
Derek McInnes looks furious there on the touchline.
Painful. That's a painful one.
Right, here we go. Michael, talk us through it.
It's a lovely ball. Is it Shankland, I think, plays the ball over the top. Aziu's running through, and
oh my goodness.
I think he actually tries to flick it to the side for Braga, and it flicks up in the air, and he's on the inside left channel. The goal's at his mercy with his left boot there, and he hits the outside of the post, and Ryan McGowan clatters himself into the post, trying to block it. I mean, it should be 2-1.
I think this is a good finisher, Braga, and we've seen him score some excellent goals over the last week or so.
All different types of goals as well.
Different types of goals.
This is
that's the easiest chance he's had.
Nothing to do with the chance, but we've got to say that I'm looking at the pitch, and it is great for AstroTurf, but there's a lot of them slipping.
Yeah.
I don't know what footwear they've got on, but they're slipping all over the place. There's heavy rain here now in Livingston.
Right, very much game on there. Let's get to another championship game. Let's check in with Rory Loy. He's down at Somerset Park for us today. Ayr United against Queen's Park, and potentially a shock in the cards down there, Rory.
Yes, indeed. Queen's Park, I have to say, have defended ever so well. Not only are they organised, but the likes of Aidan Connolly, who is not known for his defending, has made some unbelievable blocks despite his height back in the box. Pignatello's done the same. Ewan Murray's been
off the bar!
Yeah, another chance.
Oh, unbelievable. Paul McMullen, he's cut inside and he's just absolutely rattled it from about 15 yards. Hit the underside of the bar and come back out. Wraith really pressing for the equaliser.
Equaliser, Ayr United!
Oh, back to Rory Loy at Somerset Park.
It's Dom Thomas who crosses it in. It's clear to the edge of the box, and it's Jude Bonner who shoots. I don't know if it's going on target. Wicked deflection into the side net, and it's Ayr 1, Queen's Park 1. Game on.
Rory, perhaps that chap who was giving it large earlier on with some choice language, you have to say, right beside you down there, he'll maybe be a happy be chappy now?
He'll probably be feeling a little bit better. He's been a little bit more subdued the second half. I don't know if people around him have had a word with him, but he was crying for Dom Thomas to come on. Dom Thomas has come on and not been great. He's hit 3 corners over the bar without even getting it into the box, but his 4th corner, he made it count. 1-1.
Game on down there.
For him to come on.
Well, there you are. East Kilbride 5, Forth Athletic 0. Flanagan with the goal on 85 minutes. They are the title favourites. They lost their opening game, but they've been in great form since then. We'll go through the tables for you later on. We'll give you the classifieds, and also just if you're listening, if you want to make a point about the coverage, about your team, about a refereeing decision, the European performances, anything at all, the big games tomorrow, all covered on BBC Radio Scotland. Send us a WhatsApp voice note 08085 92 95 00, because we'll play them out later in the programme. Sports Sound continues on the radio right through until 7 o'clock. Let's get back then to Alan Preston, that game through there at Almond Vale. It's a really good second half, Al.
As in Hearts have made another change. Beningami's come off and it's Carjota that's come on, so that means Kizaridis will go from the right hand side to the left. Carjota will go and play with it. So Hearts have got 2 out and out wingers on now, which we didn't have that luxury in that opening period. Livingston making the changes as well, trying to get back in the game. Hearts have certainly had the better of the second half, but still 1-1.
Oh, chance, real chance.
Yeah, another chance at Fair Park. Tony Docherty.
Motherwell just worked it into that area. Great play by Longelo getting down into that wee half space. He's put one right across the face of the goal, and I think one of the strikers or a midfielder should have gambled on that. Real good opportunity to take the lead in this game again for Motherwell.
Tony, you were saying that equaliser came against the run of play, but when you look at the 90 minutes in full, when it closes in a few minutes' time, would a draw be a fair reflection of what you've seen?
I don't think so. In the balance of play, second half, I think Motherwell have been really, really dominant. Interestingly, they took Elliot Watt off, who, as I said earlier on, was really instrumental in their play, and they brought on the debutant Oscar Priestman. And I don't know if they don't seem to have as much control, but no, I think in the balance of play, Motherwell shouldn't be losing this game. They shouldn't be, for the amount of possession they've had, the amount of chances they've created, and really against the run of play. It's a big mistake by Callum Ward to allow Kilmarnock back in it. But interesting, Kilmarnock then made a change right away and brought on Marley Watkins, went to a back 4, so they can sniff blood a wee bit. So I think there's something to give, something going to give in this game. I don't see it staying at 2-2.
He wasn't great at a couple of Hearts goals last week either, was he? He's not having a great start to the season. There's so much that's right about Motherwell at the moment, but the goalkeeper has improvement.
That might be the argument you have, Tom. You're really, really good with his feet, but it's getting that complete goalkeeper that, you know, your job's to keep goal. That's the clues in the title.
And you know,
if you can play out for the back, yes, a bonus, absolutely great. But I think he's cost his team today, because they should, in the balance of play, be comfortably winning this match.
It's brilliant. You know, it's such a good point, Doc. You know, I heard a lot of comment about Donnarumma not being, you know, the best with the ball at his feet, and I'm thinking to myself, just give me a keeper that can save shots.
Of course. And actually, a few goalkeeping issues today.
First and foremost, of course, as Tony's saying there, if he can play, you know, it's not like he can't kick the ball, you know, and if you're just making it basic for him in terms of pass it 5 yards or thump it up the park, then he's arguably the best keeper in the world. You find these keepers that, they're great with the ball at their feet, but they keep chucking the ball in the back of the net.
And it drips through the team, doesn't it? You have a nervousness, don't you, if your keeper is not at it.
Yeah, losing goals affects confidence, absolutely. Just at this stage, but they've got a free kick at the edge of the box. Motherwell, and I see Callum Henry with the ball in his hands. This is an opportunity, 24 yards from goal. You know, 88th minute, it's a chance to take the lead.
Right, we'll come back to Tony. Let's get back to Somerset Park. Rory Loy, Ayr United against Queen's Park.
Yes, indeed, Ayr United are really pushing for the winner here. They've got the ball halfway up the pitch. Queen's Park just simply can't get out. Callum Ferry's been very good in the goals, as has the defence of Queen's Park all day, but I think they're going to be up against it in this last few minutes here, but it does remain one apiece.
Right, Spartans have scored late on, 1-0. They are up at home to Annan Athletic. Ethan Drysdale, goal 86 minutes. Yes, goal!
Oh, it's an equaliser for Ross County. It's a great strike coming in from the right side. It's Ronan Hale again. Magnificent bit of play. Jinks in from the left-hand side, puts it on his right foot and just slides it beyond the goalkeeper. Wonderful goal early on. Another wonderful goal from him. And it's all square at East End Park. And Finland 2, Ross County 2.
Potentially a really sore one for Neil Lennon, Tom. This is a story I think we're all quite interested in. He's a very experienced manager. There's a lot of excitement around his appointment. Another couple, there's been serious investment.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pressure that comes with that investment. A lot of pressure that comes with Neil Lennon full stop because he's done so much in the game. We mentioned Ronan Hale early on in the program. Yes. I think this guy is a fine striker. He's got a lot of goals last season, a couple more today. I'm very surprised that somebody hasn't tried to come in for him. I'm sure he'd be getting paid handsomely there where he is, but I think this guy could do and has done a job in the Premiership. So I'm not sure why somebody hasn't come in for him.
Yeah, he's a decent striker. He's five equalised away at Stennismuir. Nathan Austin on 89 minutes. That's the latest goal news right across the country this afternoon. Let's get back to McDermott Park, the home side now. I'm sure William Hill are absolutely pushing for a winner there.
They've been pushing for goals all game, and so much so in the second half that they did get that equaliser. But you're right, Kenny. You know, the crowd are behind them. They're making a lot of noise. The game basically is played in that final third where Morton, you've got to hand it to Morton, though they've defended extremely well. They've really limited St Johnstone to shots outside the box, and that's where the goal came from, and all their chances have come from as well. But yeah, absolutely one-way traffic. They're pushing hard. They're looking for that victory. They're looking for that goal would keep their 100% record in the league.
I think it's quite hard today to pick game of the day, Ian McCall, but certainly your match at Firhill would be a serious contender.
It's been, it's game of life in the last 20 minutes again after a terrific first half. Aidan Fitzpatrick has been top notch. He's got genuine pace. I'm not talking about championship pace. He go up a level, no problem, but Wraith can count themselves unfortunate. They've had 2 or 3 really good opportunities. In saying that, Fitzpatrick just burst through again there, and they had a great strike just saved. But Bristol are just trying to see the game out at 3-2. Will they be worthy winners? I think a draw would probably be fair, but they would take it, I would imagine.
Ian, would you see both these sides being in and around the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a lot's been made of St Johnstone. I think they're a decent side. I'm not so sure they're not going to run away with it like Dundee United or teams like that. No, not for me. I think these two definitely. I think, Thistle, the way they're playing, they're 2 wide players, as long as you can keep them fit. Like any team in the Championship, Kenny, you need a wee bit of luck with injuries, and certainly Wraith Rovers in the forward areas as well. They've got pace, they've got good players, they've got goal scorers. It's been a terrific game, really has.
Yeah, sounded fantastic there. Queen of the South looked to have nabbed a late winner at home to Kelty Hearts. Reece Lyon with that goal on 88 minutes. Let's get back to Tony Docherty. A fantastic game, fantastic entertainment this afternoon at Fir Park. Motherwell at home to Kilmarnock. Is either side pushing for the winner there, Tony?
This has been a brilliant game. Really, really good advert for Scottish football, but it's going into 4 minutes added time now. There's 2 minutes gone, and again, Motherwell, the team for me, that it's the pattern of the game. They're dominating possession, but then there's Kilmarnock are really playing their part as well, in terms of that counter-attacking. So with 2 minutes to go, can I see a winner? I'm not sure with the clock clicking down, but it's been a brilliant game. Really, really good advert, as I say.
We were chatting earlier on Motherwell, and I got about Motherwell and Rangers. I was speaking to you about that, Michael, about the difference. Both sides like to play out from the back. One's had a lot of praise, one hasn't. And you made a point to me about sometimes it's not about the message, it's about the messenger, and clearly Jens Bertel Askew is getting his message across to these Motherwell players.
You're divulging private conversations, Kenny. Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, look, clearly he has complete control and command of the team. They believe what he's trying to do, whereas when you compare and contrast with Rangers, there's obviously a serious problem there with regards to Russell Martin getting his message over, because it's not working at the moment, and sometimes it just comes down to the person that's delivering it. And Jens Bertel Askew is working. His message is going over, so the messenger and the message is working perfectly. Whereas at Rangers, certainly at the moment, it appears that the manager is struggling.
Time up for Hill, 3-2 to the home side.
Yeah, very, very good victory for the home side there. Ian McCall believes both these clubs will be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season. We're speaking about Rangers there, of course, involved in that Old Firm derby tomorrow. Full coverage on BBC Radio Scotland from 11:30. Let's get to the closing stages.
Full time, Kenny, and it's 1-1 here at McDermott.
So a late equaliser for the home side there. A sore one for Dougie Imrie's Morton, but Eamon Brophy with a goal there, give them some real hope. And I think at the end of the day, they'll be happy with a point. It's a tough place to go. Let's get to the game through at Almond Vale. Any sign of a winner through there, Alan Preston?
Not yet.
That's full time, Kenny. East End Park 2-2.
Right, 2-2 to the game there through East End Park. So we'll get back to Chick Young a little later
Chance
on.
here,
Dunfermline
Kenny.
home to Ross County. Yes, chance. Okay, let's get back to the game.
Casaredas has won it for Hearts.
Oh my goodness.
It's a break in the ball and he opens his body up and curls it round the keeper into the back of the net.
Finish. Great
it's
finish.
carnage. Not away end. What a game.
Remind us, Alan, how many away fans there today?
6,500. This is Shanklin just rolls it to Casaredas on the 18-yard box and he just opens his body up and passes it into the bottom corner.
Great finish. Great
What a finish.
The away end that's 3 sides of the stadium. It's an absolute.
This has been, honestly, Derek
goal.
McKinnon, the second half team, it has been that since he's come in. He's rang the changes, all credit to him. He's got to take the credit because he's been struggling in the opening periods. Made the changes again. Casaredas coming on, set up the first, looks like could have the winner. It's not been a dirty game. We've had 9 yellow cards, but total game of 2 halves.
See, the thing that this tells me, and I've said this in the last couple of weeks, see if Hearts find a system and it clicks, this is a team that's full of character, because the 4 games so far, you wouldn't say that they've been scintillating performances.
Chance for Kilmarnock to win it there.
Right, okay, we'll come back to that. Let's get back to Tony Dockery at Fir Park. Tony.
Dying embers of this game. Marley Watkins makes a brilliant run to get a free kick for Kilmarnock in the closing stages. Ball's played into the box, a free header. Final whistles just went, but last attempt to the game there, a header, free header in the box. Kilmarnock could have just won it, and that would have been really, really harsh on Motherwell. But what a brilliant game I've just witnessed here. 2 teams deserve a huge amount of credit for what they put into that and the paying public. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a great advert, as I say, for Scottish football.
Yeah, we'll hear from both managers later in the programme. Motherwell providing a lot of the entertainment, but as Tony said, a lot of credit must go to Kilmarnock this afternoon. Tom, we're just seeing the pictures coming into the studio there, and the guys described them really well. Incredible scenes of celebration, the lashing rain through their Amon Vale.
I tell you what, I mean, Hearts have showed a lot of class in the second half. Since Casaredas came on, they've shown hard work as well. Big time work ethic in this team.
Look at the touches from the new signing as well. If Sports here or whatever, I don't know if they can, but highlight his touches. Brilliant. He's been magnificent. Honestly, he's now gone and playing centre midfield with Cammy Devlin. He looks a proper player.
He's all front foot, Alan, isn't he? He's all about
he's
attack,
all looking forward.
creativity.
Let's go forward.
Yeah, very good.
So that's what I was saying before. If Hearts, click and find the right balance. You look at the performance against Aberdeen. It wasn't a scintillating performance. It was pure, just determination. Likewise at Tannadice, and then the comeback against Motherwell, and now here it's another comeback. The performances are not free flowing. There's quality in the side. There's pure guts and determination and work ethic. There is quality clearly, and once it starts to all come together, Hearts will be in a pretty good place.
Answer me this, in terms of
full time
quality.
at Somerset Park, 1 apiece.
Thanks to Rory Lloyd down there, 1 apiece between Ayr United and Queen's Park down there. Michael, is there much right now in terms of quality between Hearts and Hibs?
Quality-wise, not even, but in guts and determination as well. I mean, Hearts and Hibs are both in a really good place. I mean, Hibs have got they have their system. They know what they're doing. I think there are
Here's a chance for Livingston. Oh, I think he's offside anyway. It's a cut back, the hit from Montgomery, but the flag goes up yet. So annoying when they do that.
That's comfortable save in the end. It's right at Xander Clark. But I mean, I think Hibs are a couple of players short in terms of being able to really go and compete if they were, and this is just the caveat, if they were to suffer an injury here or there. Now, talky Lyndon Dykes perhaps going in Hibs. I think that would be a brilliant signing for them. I really do, because he adds taking the emphasis off of Kieran Bowie. You could play the 2 of them up top and they would batter the living daylights out of defences as well. So it gives them a different dynamic. And I think another centre midfielder would be, if they got Dykes and another centre midfielder, I think Hibs would be in a really, really good position. I'm gutted they're not in the league phase of the Conference League, because I think they would have done really well. I think they would have picked up a lot of points. But now they can focus domestically, and I think they're in a good position, Hearts and Hibs, to capitalise on the debacle that's going on at Ibrox at the moment.
Hearts, they've got to get this intensity from the start and get this organisation in the setup, in the formation, and the intensity and the energy that they've had in the second half has been outstanding, because they have the bit of class there. Once they hit on the formation that works, they're gonna be a danger.
But that's what I was saying to you. We've not seen enough yet of the forward players, the Kyrgios, the Kabori, the Kizarides.
Yeah.
You know, if these guys if these guys have that, you know, quality, and you get the balance in the team, the one consistent issue though is they need a right back. They need a right back.
It's
and if they do that,
let's go back to Alan. Let's go back to Alan. It's a corner. Right, Alan, let's go back.
Livingston. Everyone apart from the keeper is in the box.
Right, here we go. Huge moment.
What a header. He's got to score. What a chance that is. Just knocks it wide. Real chance here it was for McLaren. Come on as a substitute. Free header.
Jeez.
You'd think he'd score.
Derek McInnes, we've fizzing at that defence.
He's holding his.
Cammy Devlin's giving him his, like, Cammy Devlin's putting his arm around him as if to say, like, oh, you're all right. Oh, jeez, that was close. It's like, aye, he missed.
Well, he should have buried that, shouldn't he?
And free header, about 5 yards out.
Yeah.
He's got to score. Good ball in from May.
It was very good ball. Very.
What a chance.
Full time. Hearts go top of the league.
It's a very, very good win for them in a tough place. It's you look at it, I mean, obviously it's about the first 11, but Derek McInnes has now got impact, serious impact off the bench. Braga last week, Kyrgios today. He's got a squad. He doesn't have a team. He has a squad of players. There's definitely something
substance.
There.
He's got, you know, and he's a manager of substance as well. Because, like, with the greatest respect to what was there before, the squad as a whole, the basis of it was there. Mm-hmm. What we've seen in the second half is the options to be able to really go and, like, find that cutting edge in the final third. But they've got results so far, in large part, not through the quality that these likes of, the players that have been brought on. It's through guts and determination and real hard work and will.
And half-time substitutions.
But if you look at the first 2 games of the season, the game against Aberdeen and Dundee United in particular, that Braga aside, that's pretty much the side that was there. And that comes down to, for me, having a leader that actually knows what they're doing.
Well,
and a clear message.
A late scare there for the Hearts fans, but 6,500 of them through there singing in the rain. We can see Derek McInnes absolutely drenched there, celebrating with the Hearts fans through that Amon Vale pitch there in very good voice. The Hearts supporters, as Michael said, 3 stands round that ground there. What an attendance, and their team delivered in the end today, although there was a real scare in that first half. But he made the changes. Once again, the Hearts manager and his team delivered there this afternoon, Michael. We were saying earlier on, we're expecting an experienced goalkeeper to come in before the window closes, but you feel they must get a right back in.
It is a must, because it then opens up, the possibility to comfortably play the back 4, or if you're wanting to play the back 3, he can go and play as right wing back, because at the moment, you're trying to fit McEntee into a right wing back or a right back position. He will do a job, but it's not his position, and he's not comfortable.
It's a staggering kind of oversight, but given the money that Hearts have, given the James, I know they've brought him in, but that's one. They need they need options.
Well, they had Forrester, who they've obviously decided it was going out on loan, and then Borchgrevink got injured, and it's question mark about whether they want. But I'm not convinced that Borchgrevink is the standard that they want anyway, or they need. So I would suggest that yes, they need to go out and get another right back.
Right, well, let's get the full-time reports. We'll get around the grounds. We'll bring you a classified scoreline as well. We'll look at the league tables now. We're a few games into the season, and hopefully before we're off television at 5:25, we'll get some managerial reaction for you as well. So let's start with that game through Amon Vale. Livingston against Hearts, Alan Preston. It was a fantastic match.
It was a fantastic match, Ken. A total game of 2 halves. Livingston dominated that opening period and took the lead in 26 minutes. Smith got the ball wide on the right in the touchline. He goes by Milne as if he's not there, cuts inside, and his left foot shot went through Finley's legs and beat Clark at his near post. Then Yengi had a shot saved. Muirhead also had an effort saved. Hearts very little in the opening period. Derek McInnes again makes another change at half time. Changes shape as well, and that instantly paid off. Kizarides had a cross, well saved by Pryor for a corner. From the resulting corner, it was a short one. Mull took to Kizarides. His cross there was Braga running across the front with a flick header into the back of the net in 47 minutes. Kizarides again to Braga, and his shot just wide. And then an astonishing miss by Braga. Shankland to Ajew, the new signing for the Hearts had. He was through with the keeper. The keeper makes a good save. It rolls it square to Braga. You think he's just got to tap it into the net. He somehow managed to fluff his lines and hit the post. So you then think that that's going to be, it's going to be 1-1. But in the 94th minute, Shanklin to Kizaridis, and he opened his body up and just simply passed the ball into the bottom corner beyond Pryor. Unbelievable game, really good finish for Hearts. They sit top of the league as we go tonight. Final score, Livingston 1, Hearts 2.
Great game through there at Almonvale. Also a terrific match at Fir Park this afternoon. Motherwell at home to Kilmarnock. Let's get the full-time report from Tony Docherty.
A fantastic game. Really enjoyed watching this spectacle today, and it was, I would say, on summation, it was probably 2 points dropped from Motherwell and a point gained away from home from Kilmarnock. The game started with a real domination in terms of possession by Motherwell, that expansive style of play that they're doing, but you know, they went a goal behind. You know, I think they managed the game really well, Kilmarnock, in those stages, and hit them in the counter-attack. De Janeiro Daniels makes it 1-0, and then they get dominance again as the game goes on. Maswanisi equalises for Motherwell, and then the second half really was all Motherwell. You know, they were so dominant. I think the most influential player on the pitch, Elliot Watt, was, you know, making real strides into good positions, and they managed to get that goal from Emmanuel Longello to put them 2-1 up, and really were on the ascendancy. Brought on substitutes and Regan Charles Cook and Callum Henry, and looked as if they were going to get another goal, but utterly against their run of play. There's a cross from deep comes in from Lewis Mayo, and the goalkeeper Callum Ward inexplicably drops one for George Stanger to prod the ball into an empty net and make it 2-2. And from then on, Kilmarnock had a goal. You know, they brought on Marley Watkins, and the game was in the balance. But really, I think Motherwell should have been out of sight at 2-1, getting another goal. But it just shows you football, it's unpredictable, and Stuart Kettleby were really pleased with a point away from home just now. And I think the Motherwell manager might be a bit disappointed because his team on the balance of play, I think, probably deserved to win it, particularly in that period in the second half when they were 2-1 up.
Yeah, Stuart Kettleby, as you say, Tony, will be absolutely delighted with that point through there at Fir Park. Some great games today, including in the Championship. Let's get to Chick Young at East End Park, and Dunfermline at home to Ross County. An absolute belter there for you this afternoon, Chick.
Yep, Ronan Hale this afternoon. Two fantastic goals for Ross County. Gave them a point against Dunfermline. Dunfermline looked to have a grip in the game. They went ahead after just 22 minutes. A wonderful goal from Jeremiah Chilakoa Mullen. A header inside the box. Just got it in beyond the goalkeeper to put the Pars 1-0 ahead. Then Ronan Hale with an fabulous equaliser. Took the ball out the sky. Wonderful first touch and drove it beyond Mason Munn in the Pars goal to make it 1 each at half-time. Zach Rudden on his debut for Dunfermline, his 9th Scottish Cup, made him an immediate hero with the Pars fans. 4,828 inside the ground today, incidentally. Zach Rudden put Dunfermline 2-1 ahead, was then subbed, but Ronan Hale wasn't finished. He scored another goal to equalise. A glorious piece of skill. Again, he really is sharp, and what a touch he's got on the football, and drove it into the net to put Ross County level 2-2. 2-2 finished on the afternoon, point apiece. Ross County still anchored, I think, at the bottom of the table this evening, Kenny. 2-2 at East End Park.
Yeah, listen, it's been a great game down there for Chick this afternoon. We'll bring you the tables a little later in the programme. Let's get to McDermott Park in Perth. St Johnstone home to Morton. Get the full-time report from Willie Miller.
Yeah, Kenny, St Johnstone, they lose their 100% league record this afternoon. You know, only managing to get the 1-1 draw. Plenty of the ball, absolutely. First half domination, but it was Morton that in 22 minutes, and Eamon Brophy, it was a magnificent strike from Brophy, left hand side, 25 yards out. He just looks up and he sees the top corner begging to be hit, and he does it. His accuracy is absolutely superb. It's got great pace on it. It's got a bit of curl towards the end as well. No chance whatsoever for the goalkeeper. The pattern of the game was basically in Dougie Imrie setting up his team a 4-5-1 to defend, and they defended superbly throughout. In the second half, McPake has had two really good efforts. Again, all long range efforts. So one just past the post, one actually rattling off the post as well. McClear, another long ranger, just flashed past the post as well. But late on, it was Josh McPake that eventually got the strike. Comes in from the left, it's on his right foot. Instead of going across the goalkeeper, he goes to the near post, drills it with a lot of venom into the back of the net, low and hard, to give him that equaliser. As you can imagine, St Johnstone pushed on. Diabate had a 35 thunderous shot that was well saved. Ikpeacha had a header. He really should have at least hit the target, probably should have scored, but at the end of the day it finished 1-1.
Thanks to Willie Miller up there at McDermott Park. Let's get to the game at Firhill. What a game this was. Partick Thistle at home to Raith Rovers. Let's get the full-time report from Ian McCall.
Yeah, it was a thoroughly magic game. I mean, the first half was astounding, and the last 25 minutes was terrific. I think Raith will be a little bit disappointed they're going away with a point, but Aidan Fitzpatrick in irresistible form. The first goal came 7 minutes. It was a cut down the left-hand side. Aidan Fitzpatrick, really good pace to get behind the defence. He just squared it. Old-fashioned cut back. Tony Watt slide in. Very, very easy finish. At this stage, Thistle were really dominating, and Aidan Fitzpatrick made it 2-0 after, I think it was 14 minutes. He just outpaces the fullback, finished it really well. Though Josh Ray, I'm thinking maybe he could have done better because he was beaten at his near post. Raith gave themselves a shake, and through McMullen and Easton, they got themselves back in the game. The first goal was a great little 1-2 into the 18-yard box, and I think it was a stonewall penalty when Ashcroft brought down McMullen. Dylan Easton easily converted to make it 2-1. The equaliser came. It was Paul McMullen. He ran through again, good pace. He could have went down when the goalie challenged him, stayed up, and he's just cut it back. There's Matthews with an absolute tap-in. It was 2-2 at half-time. The game kind of had a lull then, Kenny, for 20 minutes, but in 65 minutes, there was a key moment in the game. I thought Vaughan, was it a dive, was it not a dive? He didn't get a penalty, and I thought he should just have taken a touch and shot because he had a free strike from 12 yards. He was booked for his trouble and did not get the penalty. Thistle went up the pitch, and a big mistake from Dylan Easton. He's knocked it into Aidan Fitzpatrick's path. He's driven it right across goal, and just at the far end of the box, Logan Chalmers, like a good opposite wide man, he's just coming into the back post and he knocks it into the net. 3-2 Thistle. Raith then finished, I've got to say, very, very strong. They had 2 or 3 chances. I mentioned Paul McMullen cut inside and rattled one off the inside of the bar. Chin crossed it into Jack Hamilton at the back post, and he's really got to score. And Jordan Docherty, who was very impressive today, got round the back post for Raith and just hit the side netting with it. I mean, I think both these teams showed enough to me to say they'll both finish in the top 4, and you know what, one of them could well progress to win the title because they've got pace and strength and people that could put the ball in the net. Firhill finished Partick Thistle 3, Raith Rovers 2.
Well, Ian McCall certainly knows his stuff in terms of the championship. Let's get to Ayr United against Queen's Park and get the full-time report from Rory Loy.
Yes, indeed, it finished 1 apiece here between Ayr United and Queen's Park. Both sides now drawn 3 games out of 4, losing the other, so not a great start for either side. However, in the opening stages of this one, Ayr did start brightly, and they had a chance through Curtis Main, who his weak header was saved by Mitchell at the back post. He had another chance in that first half with a head, which was a much better opportunity. He was running onto it, the pace was on the ball. However, he still wasn't able to convert that in between an Oakley opportunity on the volley, which was tipped round the corner by Ferry. On 35 minutes, the opening goal of the game came to Queen's Park. Fowler was tripped in the box by Ure. It looked a penalty every day of the week. A penalty was given, and Fowler stepped up to score low to Mitchell's right hand side. Into the second half, and Roddy McGregor took advantage of a poor David Mitchell clearance. However, his shot was in the end saved by Mitchell, if not convincingly. Chances again for Main and Oakley in the second half, but neither could convert. However, on 83 minutes, Jude Bonner's strike from that Dom Thomas cleared corner cannoned off Matthew Shields, so much so that it actually went down as a Matthew Shields own goal, and it did finish 1 apiece. Murmurs of discontent throughout the match from the home support. However, they didn't do enough to win the game, so at the end of the day, 1 point is better than none. It finished 1 apiece.
Thanks to Rory Loy down there at Somerset Park. So what we'll do, we'll run through the